Gee whiz, we are live, people. I can see it's gonna be one of these kind of nights. We have a ghost guest tonight, so y'all just behave yourself, and we will introduce you to her in just a few minutes. I hope everyone's having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this crazy, big, beautiful blue planet. I love this planet. I don't know why y'all keep trying to blow the damn place up. It's one of my favorite places to hang out. Martians, hey, come hang out on Mars. And I said, Mars is a little dusty. I always got to be drinking something over there. Y'all got lousy bourbon. So I said, we'll stay on Earth. But still, y'all insist on blowing it up. I just met a gentleman from the Ukraine at the L. Ron Hubbard Awards, and that man was just nonstop. He must have been on crack the way he was moving around. Just, I don't mean literally on crack, people. I'll take it out of Vortex there, but he was just nonstop. And then a friend of mine, I was, we've got three people now on the ground in the Ukraine doing work for the United Public Radio Network. And we actually got a couple people in Russia, just like we had all those people in China. And by the way, we still have all those people in China, by the way. They haven't left. They live there. Remember, 4 people we had filming in Wuhan. I am so happy they didn't get caught because, they got us excellent footage. They got us footage of the gates, people rattling the gates as they're being put on their houses trying to get out, body bags being toted that was still moving, 40 incinerators going nonstop for like 3 weeks. It was insane. Wow. Obviously, they were bringing in bodies from other places besides that. Jack, well, no, they could have still been dead. Bodies can move after they die. Yeah, unfortunately, they can. Yes, they can. There's a couple of things that can make them move, but no, in the video. So I'd have to go dig it up, which I can't get on this computer. But in one of the videos, the body bag's doing this. It didn't look like something was dead that was just moving. This looked like somebody who was still alive, just barely. They were just kicking. And there was a couple other ones, like you would see, like the hand pushing against it. It was creepy as all hell, and we were the only ones that had it. NBC didn't have it, ABC didn't have it, CBS, Fox, none of them had it. It was strictly an exclusive to us. Yeah, it was a great boost in the rating too. Unfortunately, it was just horrible watching it all. We had the pictures of them going through Beijing and all the other big cities with those ghost dusters, blowing this stuff all over everything, whatever the hell it was. They were blowing all over their cities. Not a person on the street but the people working. It was definitely not like the United States, I can tell you that. It was definitely different. And even though they swear they only lost 100,000 people and we lost, 1 million something now, it amazes me that from the body bags I've seen, I think their numbers were far bigger than what they were. But not to get off on Wuhan, I know y'all want to do a show, and did it really start there? Well, it did really start there. I guess the question would always be, how did it start there? Was it an animal that jumped to a human, or was it something else? Maybe Fauci paying for it. So, but we don't really know. So it's something you can speculate on all night long, but there's really no truth to it, because one government says, oh, yes, it did happen that way, and the other government says, no, it did not happen that way. So who are you going to believe? You're going to pick your side of whichever government is your favorite, and that is what you're going to believe. That just leaves people like me and Jay going, what the, so it's just those kind of things. So pay attention for all that. We'll be talking about that later on in the show. A couple other things coming up. We're going to be talking about some good space stuff that's coming up too. James Webb Telescope has been freaking just fabulous. Maybe the guest we have on could do a picture of one of the James Webb's shots. The one I seen today had 45,000 galaxies in it. 45,000. Wow. And that's not even the biggest. I was like, look at this, man. The difference between it and Hubble, even though Hubble's gotten more galaxies in one shot, is the quality and the detail of the picture. Now,
Hubble went up with a damaged mirror, and they had to go and put basically a contact lens on it to bring it back to focus. So it's not seeing as good as it should.
I got to say, some of this stuff has just been some of the science lately I've been seeing is just fabulous. Come on, guys. We're going to have what now? What we're going to have? You know how we got the nuclear stuff that we're going to have the opposite now that doesn't create anything but power. Clean, efficient. Nothing goes, don't get me wrong.
Fusion.
That's right. And we have fission now. We're going to have fusion. And we have fusion now, okay? It's no longer a thing. We actually have fusion.
We've had fusion for a long, long time. The sun is fusion. We just can't control it.
Yeah, but now we have fusion reactors. So one reactor about the size of 2 or 3 18-wheels is plenty big enough to run the city of New York indefinitely. Oh, yeah, there's no refuel in it.
You could get one the size of a baseball, and it would run your house for, 50 years, 100 years?
Well, they're saying now, since most of them are going to be reproductive, so you can get one about this big for your house. It'll run your house for as long as you have the house, probably longer. You'll have one about this big to run your car. I mean, you're talking. Do you realize if you had a power source this big in your car, that goes, God, you know what you can do with your car? I don't even want to think about it. I'd be arrested for sure. I have wings on the damn thing for sure. It's no, there's just so much of the science coming out. We're going to really get into a science show here in the near future. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of AI, which we're going to be talking about some of the AI later in the show here in a few minutes when we introduce our guests. There's just a lot to keep up with, not including all the effing crazy ass politics in America right now. It's not just America. Justin Trudeau, Mr. Pink Shorts, I don't know what's going on with him. He has actually been smoking something you cannot get in the United States. And
yeah, wild Canadian.
then the American president, he's gotten like Joe Biden. One day he's saying one thing, and the next day he's recanting. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on down there. Brazil, one day you got one government, one day you got another government. So the Americans are just kind of unstable at the moment. Cuba got busted spying not just in our country, but in China, and China is pissed. Trying to play it off how bad America is, and somebody said, "Well, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, were you okay with Cuba spying in your country?" And he looked over the guy. Of course I'm not. I was like, "Yeah, of course you're not. You're really pissed like we are." It's just, but a lot of news. But tonight we have a guest coming on, which I consider a friend. Actually, she's a very nice woman, very intelligent woman, fabulous artist, fabulous illustrator, and the fact that she does oil just makes me love her even more. Y'all know, anybody who's watched me talk with artists over the years knows I've just got a thing for oils. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm old and I just like oil. I don't know what it is.
Squash.
I just don't get me wrong. I love all artwork. I don't want to take anything away from anything else, because I really do. I love all artwork. It doesn't matter what it is or who made it, as long as it appeals to me. And I did say this a couple of authors just recently. I have bought many books, and I hate to admit to this, because of the cover on the book.
Mm-hmm. Same. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. So the problem with that is sometimes I have been really like thrilled, and sometimes I've been like, oh my God, let me throw this thing in a fire. But our guest tonight is Echo Chernik. Echo is just, like I said, a fabulous artist. He's also one of the big dogs over at Writers of the Future. Okay, one of the judges. They came out wrong. One of the judges over at L. Ron Hubbard's Writers of the Futures and Illustrators of the Futures, and she gets. I should say this backwards. They get the privilege of working with Miss Echo the entire time, the entire week she's there. All of these winners, which is 12. Sometimes there's some little other stuff gets drug in there. And she gets to teach them. And let me tell you what, she's taking her time. She's coming down from, she lives up there in the northern part of the country. I'm going to say where. She can tell y'all where she lives. And she comes on down to Los Angeles like the rest of us. And she teaches these people because she's paying back, I guess. I don't know. Echo, welcome to the show. Maybe you can explain why your ass goes down there all the time.
Hey, Joe. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
No, you're fabulous. It's I'm telling you, she is really one of my favorite people. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Your question about the oils. I think it's the smell. There's nothing like the smell of an oil painting. I don't know if you've ever really just gotten in there and
I don't know.
oil painting.
I've used oils.
I like the smell of it.
Now that you say that, there's many old galleries down in the quarter. That's all they really have, and all these pictures are 75 years plus old, and they're all oils. And God knows who painted it. I found was it Larry Hatch, the Devils and the Angels, was one of the Mardi Gras posted pictures, and I got it for $750. I ain't even going to tell you what I sold it for. Well, he's a passed away artist, and he did, I think, 10 of the Mardi Gras series posters. Mm-hmm. And I just stumbled across it. I said, well, what is that? I know damn good and well the artist, and I knew the picture because I knew the poster. And I was like, well, I don't know. It looks kind of ratty. It's dirty. It probably had 5,000 layers of dust on it. It's been sitting back there for at least 20 years. And a guy said, the name is familiar. $750. No, he said $950. I said $750. He said, I can do $750. He wrapped it up, had it at my house before I was there. It went to auction. I don't even want to tell you what it's sold for. All I will tell you is I was very, very, very happy. Because I couldn't keep it in my house. It was way too big of a picture for him. Don't get me wrong. We have big pictures in like the gallery part of our house. but nothing like that. That was huge. I mean, it had to be 6 feet, 7 feet tall, probably 3 or 4 foot wide. It was a big ass picture, and that's what he based his posters on. So there's 9 or 10 other ones floating around. If you could get to a collection, it'd probably be worth a small mint. But anyway,
Cool.
I know Echo paints and all this because I've seen them.
I do. I work in everything. I work
when your city becomes safe again, I'm gonna come up there and see you and see
my
these
city's
things.
awesome.
No, it's not safe. It's not. It's dangerous up there now. I got other friends that live there and tell me, "Oh, Joe," he said, "Be sure you bring your gun when you come up." I'm like, "What?" It's one of my favorite places I always want to go, and he tells me, "You should bring your gun." I'm like, "Get out of here!" Because don't get me wrong, people, I do carry my gun in New Orleans. I don't carry it in the suburbs, but I do carry it in the city. And it's probably saved
Bellingham, which is about an hour or so north of Seattle.
Oh well, you're in the calm, sweet people. Are you up there with the hippies?
I'm up there in between. You go from Seattle and you go towards Canada, and then you stop at the major town before you to go to the restroom before you have to go to Canada, and that's where I live.
So you basically saying I'm Canadian? Oh, I got you. Okay, Canadians don't even start tonight. Don't even start tonight. We got a lot of Canadians listening to this network because we got
a lot of DJs from Canada.
Yes, we do. We got 7 or 9 DJs.
They come down to my
Canada.
gallery a lot. I have a gallery in Fairhaven, and I get a lot of Canadians that come down. So,
well, we got a pretty big audience in Vancouver and BC and all around there. And then one of our shows, Spaced Out Radio, is hosted out of Vancouver, I believe, or is it? Yeah, I think it's Vancouver that they're based out of. So, so because they do local commercials, local pubs and stuff like that. But it's, but I know because they talk about coming down for conferences and stuff in Seattle and down in as far as Portland.
Yep, they got to drive right by me.
Yes.
So.
And, but they're doing like usually paranormal stuff. I think that's what he's doing these days. Usually, is paranormal stuff.
Well, my gallery building is haunted, so that counts.
You see, that is. Don't even tell them that. They'll be over there trying to investigate.
It's on the haunted tours.
Oh, is it? Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's on the haunted tours of Bellingham.
Then
the tour groups come by and stand outside my gallery and talk about the haunting. And
you've
all that
probably seen these doofuses before. Then Christina George, who's an ex. Well, I love these people, but sometimes me and ghosties have. Unfortunately for me in the ghost community, we have a difference on where ghost comes from. So, and it gets so mad at me, it's not funny. It's I was at a conference, a big one, and this guy's going on and on, and I was up there speaking about something entirely different. And he's going on about ghosts and ghosts and ghosts, and I looked up at him. I said, "Did you ever stop to think that ghosts could simply be dimensional bleed through?" Oh, and the whole audience, all 700 people, just went whoosh. It just was quiet. I mean, you could have heard multiple pins drop. I mean, it was just, what the, oh my, and then it started a big argument because some people were like, well, he's right. It could be dimensional bleed through, which I was not trying to start an argument or prove a point. I was just, he kept going. So I just finally just blurted out of my head. And ever since then, it's a running joke on the network. If I'm on with like Michelle DeRoche and them, she'll go, and let's not forget Joe's dimensional bleed through when she's talking to the guest. But it's just as plausible explanation as ghosts walking around your house. And in a way, it's kind of the same thing anyway. It's just from another dimension. Maybe they're still alive, or maybe it's just energy. I have no idea. I live in New Orleans, which is the whole freaking place is haunted. So that they tell you'll be standing down. So this was, oh God, I'm old now. So this was about 30 years ago. I was down there with a group of friends from out of town. Doing investigations, and I was just walking around with them, showing them the different places. So we were down on where they used to, in between the cathedral and where they used to hang the slaves and sell the slaves. Mm-hmm. And during the day, right down the middle, the women used to come walking through in their big belladonna dresses and do their thing. And they still even have the little cut groove in the ground where the women could squat and pee in and keep walking. It was a little drain. For years, I didn't have no idea what the heck thing that was for. That's how they told me it's officially on a tour around now. I'm like, get that frick out of here, man. But, weird things in the old days, things we didn't think about in today's society. But so we're standing there, and this couple is sitting in the bar having a late dinner. It's about 2 a.m. or something, 3 a.m. And a friend of mine said, let's get a drink and we'll go walk down the side of the cathedral. I said, fine. So I turn around. I grab the waitress as she went by. I said, look, and I gave her a list of drinks. And as I was turning back, nobody's moving. Everybody's just focused on this one spot. So I look, and what it looked like, and this is what it looked like. I'm not saying this is what it was, people, so don't start writing to me because this is what the show is not about tonight. It looked like two women walking arm in arm with a gentleman in period clothes just walking down the middle. And you could see what would be like outlines of whatever was going on both sides of them. It was very creepy. It was very weird. It was very exhilarating at the same time. But was it that? I don't know. It looked more like a scene out of the past to me.
Oh, that's cool.
But I can't prove what it was either way. And people, they'll come ask me to go show them. I'm like, I don't think you're going to see it again. But we can go walk down there, Weird stuff does happen in the week. The vampires hang out down there because the only way they can get buzzed is to drink your blood. So they'll wait and see somebody really high and go get a little nip, catch a buzz. That's Anne Rice. It's in Anne Rice's books. It was like, what? I live in this town sometimes. I'm like, where's this stuff coming from? But anyway, so how was L. Ron Hubbard's Writers of the Future, Illustrators of the Future this year?
It was great.
I got to remember I got an Illustrator on, so I don't want to get in trouble.
You have to add. Don't forget the illustrators. We're the reason you buy the book in the first place.
Yeah, that's who I hang out the most with is y'all. So I better shut up now before I get in trouble.
It's the awesome cover art that makes you buy a book. You were talking about how sometimes you buy a book and then
yes,
it's the awesome art that makes you buy it, but then it has to be good writing inside to make you keep buying
that's
it.
True.
Which is
Not
good about the
necessarily,
anthology.
because if you don't read the book, you won't be disappointed. You still have the cover to look at.
Now we're gonna show you some Echo's work in a minute. This is actually Tom Wood's work here. Is
that the same thing as in the background? Yeah, cool.
Yes. So he's evil, and he always is a bad influence on me and Echo. Tom, he's a bad influence on us.
That's true.
He is,
but in a good way.
Yeah, did he make you drink too much scotch or something? What's the deal?
Oh, he's just bad influence. That's all I can say. After that, I got to plead the fifth. But whatever goes on
awesome.
Stays there. Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun at the
the one next week you ought to stop by. We have Larry on with us next week.
Oh, Larry, I should stop by. Tell me
you
when.
really should. It's going to be the same time it is now. So,
yes.
Larry, we're talking about Larry Elwood. People, he's. I could sit there and listen, and I like to talk. Y'all all know that. I could sit here and listen to this man for days and days and days on it. I had the pleasure 2 years ago spending with him and Tom. We were in Larry's room, and he was just talking about things he's done in his life. I was freaking amazed. And then the other day, not the other day, but a couple of weeks back, we got to sit down and really get to talking. And he's just had such a fascinating life, and he's done a lot of work that really fascinates me. So.
These are one of the reasons I became an illustrator. I remember when I was back in middle school, I used to, go to the library and just ogle at all of his book covers and everything. And I'm like, I want to do drawings like that.
I know.
It's all his fault.
It's all his fault. Y'all can go look up. Echo, give everybody. Somebody just asked me about your website, so give me your website right quick.
Okay, my website with my most of my fine art is at echochernik.com, ECHOCHERNIK. And if you want to see my more commercial work, I've done a lot of commercial posters and book covers, and that's at echo-x.com.
So those two are actually on the new site, guys. So anybody who has access to the new site, you can go there and pop them both on there and not on the old site because it comes down in 4 or 5 days. So that site's been up for a decade, but adios to amigos. The station gets a new site about every 10 years. So,
cool.
So this year when I go to Writers of the Future, I'm gonna bribe all the illustrators so I get a really cool backdrop for this network.
Yes.
It's what are you talking about, Gene? Actually, no, they're all of them. I mean, let me put it this way: all the judges that I've met that are illustrators are just fabulous. I mean, not just as artists, but Echo's got a very interesting personality. She's she's very approachable. Let me tell you something. She never even had to talk to me. I was pressed the first year she met me. She could have just looked at me and said, "Go away, dude. Don't bother me."
I don't say that to anybody.
I know. And that's one of the good
Just
things about
mean.
you. It's
We're not there to tell people to go away. We're there to talk to people and to let them know about the contest and about how to become better illustrators. And
but I mean, she's
anyway,
very approachable by everybody. Every now and then I see, somebody say, can I go talk to him? Like, yeah, that's what she's here for. Oh, I don't know. She's kind of scary. I'm like, what do you mean she's kind of scary? Well, I said, oh, because she talks pointedly, because she's like me sometimes. She just talks pointedly. She's trying to make a point. She's not messing around. She's just talking about it. I always like, no, that's what she's here for. Go say hi. Or when she comes by, because, we were that first year there, I had a couple people go, can I ask questions? I'm like, yeah, and I heard you say it like 4 times at the beginning of the thing. Yeah, don't forget to ask questions. Or you can ask questions. I forgot how you said it, but
yeah, ask
I
questions.
guess
That's
they
why you're
get
here.
nervous, I guess is what it is.
They
But this
didn't
year,
think I'm scary. You didn't come up across anyone that thought I was scary. I'm not scary. I'm the least scary person there is.
look, I ain't wearing boots. No, Sherry, you can't be telling me stories. No, she's actually. She's a power to reckon with. Is I guess the best way to explain Echo. She's confident in what she's doing. She's confident in what she's telling y'all, and she's confident when somebody comes up and talks to her. You don't always see that from every judge, by the way. But I'm not saying who is and who ain't. It's not my job.
The judges are great, though. The people
all the judges are fabulous,
and all the winners are just crazy talented. It's so awesome when they come down to see, and we really get a chance to kind of help them get a heads up on or get a foot up on their career. That's the whole point of the contest, which is the best part.
I found which is weird. I found the illustrators this year much more extroverted than usual. They were more, at least half of them were more outgoing than the authors were. Usually the authors are the ones. It's usually the other way around. So I'm kind of like,
yeah, depends on the crowd. So it's strange. We've had really quiet groups, and then I've had to work hard to draw out that they're all shy, and then I've had somewhere I'm like, oh no, you guys are good. Just talk.
It's like when so once you become a working illustrator or a working author, I've noticed those roles switch. The illustrators become much more open, much more outgoing. I guess it's a matter of confidence is what it really is. And once you get to that certain point, I guess it's just easier for you to go through life saying, hey, look, I know how to do this. 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 Because I was talking with, who was it just recently? Anyway, she was telling me how she does her artwork. Somebody, no, Bridget's a writer. Who the hell was I talking to?
Who are you talking to?
I don't know. Now it went right out of my damn head. Too bad I was saying it. Damn, what is with my throat tonight? Goddamn, who was that? Now I'm going to have to go find that damn show and see. But anyway, we were just talking, and she said that was always her problem when she first got into illustrating. She never thought her work was good enough to send in anywhere to try to win or go get a job doing it anyway. And she said, I think she said her mom or her dad, one of them went and sent a bunch for working, and she won in 2 different places. That's like, well, you see, it's like anything else. If you don't try, you can't win.
Exactly. That's the problem with a lot of artists is that they're shy about sharing their art and just enter the contest. No one else sees it, so just enter the contest, and even if you're nervous about it, worst case scenario, you don't win. So enter next quarter.
Yes, Jeffrey, I'm going to enter my stickman this year.
Enter your stickman.
Sorry about that. That's the new puppy.
No, we got a puppy.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I'm going to enter my stickman.
Let me go take him upstairs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to
enter your stickman.
Yeah, I'm going to enter my stickman with a shield and a cape. And I'll probably get sued by
Marvel. You can't tell me. I have to judge. I take pride on judging very blindly about things. So
it's a friend of mine goes. We were talking, and he's been trying to do art his whole life, and we were talking, and he was telling me stuff, and I was telling him stuff that I've learned from y'all, and he's like, "Damn, Joe, you really know your stuff." I said, "No, they really know their stuff." I said, "This is just stuff that I've picked up from listening to them talk." He said, "But you understand it." I said, "Sort of." I said, "Let's not get crazy." I said, "I understand because they explain it in a way." And, I meant this, and I said this year when I was standing with a group of illustrators. I said, if they can make me better as an artist and understand this, they can change anybody. I said, because let's just be honest, people. I'm stick man. That's, you know, and they all started laughing. I said, but it's true. I said, I can draw a much better stick man now, and I can even shadow the damn thing. And they were laughing, but you know, but it is true. I did pick up a lot from y'all.
Good. That's the whole point. We love having you hang around.
Yes, and I talk about it all the time because we, you know, when we're doing lectures in different places, for some reason now, starting last year, doesn't matter what I lecture on or where it is, somebody always asks me about y'all. Always.
Good.
And it's all, and they get the same answers back all the time. So, and then to one guy, he goes, well, I'm a pretty good author. I said, well, submit. He said, well, how do you win? I said, you submit. I said, you can't win. I said, you can't win if you don't submit.
You don't play, right?
And the teacher was laughing because I was repetitive. I said, you know, about submitting about 12 times in a row. He said, oh, you've been doing this for a while. I said, yeah. And I said, and I want him to understand you can't win if you don't submit. And then one guy says, well, I heard somebody had to submit 30 times. That's 30 years. I said, no. I said, you can submit 4 times a year. Oh, really? I'm like, yeah. He was all happy. He couldn't get over himself.
And every time you submit, you just
I had
for yourself.
I had a couple wanted to give me some artwork. I said, no, I can't do that. I said, it doesn't work that way. You have to submit it. I said, you have to go over to Galaxy Press. I'm sorry, wrong one. writersofthefuture.com and submit it. I said, there's nothing I can do for you. I said, you can't even give me money to bribe anybody because it just doesn't work.
Why did they want to give it to you to submit?
Well, because I was just there. And they knew I was gonna. They knew sooner or later I was gonna be talking to y'all. So they were like, and they're like, I was like, and I also said because I'd given them your web address, and I didn't give them your email, but I gave them your web address, and I said, look, you can go over there and find and talk to Echo about it. I said, but really, go over to the website and submit.
And you can submit if you're one of the rare people that don't do anything with the internet. You can mail it in if you have to. So just so you know, that option does exist.
Yes, it does exist. I don't know what.
Obviously, doing it online. Yeah, I know. Doing it online is easier, but if for some reason we get entries from all over the world, which is what makes it really cool.
What was it? Gorilla Glue. What kind of nick is that? I mean, really, I ought to throw you out of the room just because you got a nick called Gorilla Glue. just because sometimes I look up and see these nicks and they just throw me off guard. Yeah, you can submit Galaxy. So I'm sorry, I keep saying GalaxyPress.com. That's where if you want to go buy something, that's where you go, GalaxyPress.com. John Goodwin's the president of Galaxy Press, but writersofthefutures.com is where you submit. And if you want to take the free writers course, it's there as well. They kind of give you an idea of how the contests work, what the rules of the contest are, and things like that. Yes.
And definitely buy the anthology because the anthology just came out. Yes. And
yes.
Like I was saying, the cover art sells the books, but the inside is what keeps you buying it again. And every single year, there's always like amazing stories and amazing art in it. So
sorry, we had non-humans knocking stuff over back there. That's a friend of mine's got a book out about Rendlesham Forest in the UK. The one over there, what is that one? The Dark That Begins. That's one of the winners of was it the year before last?
Oh, really?
It was Steve Penanzis. I'll have him on pretty soon, but he won. So he gave me a book while he was there, and I got Wolf's book coming as soon as he puts it out. It's coming as too. Well, people, these are just
and then
people.
Laz finishes his book,
and Laz is Laz and I already talked about it. So when his comes out, I told him just send me one. So I try this, and this works for the illustrators too. Illustrators don't seem to take advantage like the writers do. But almost all these books back here, they rotate out, and these are from people who are authors that we're familiar with, either from Writers of the Future or friends of mine or people that I've met over the years that need a place to try to sell their book. So we put them there. But I tell them, because we're getting ready to change this background around, so the illustrators start sitting in, we'll just hang stuff back there.
Well, I didn't think you wouldn't mind. I'm sitting here while I'm talking on the phone with these. I'm drawing remarks, such little drawings in my my newest book that I have.
I'll put it. It'll go right there. It'll go right next to that one because these two are coming out pretty soon.
All my black and white drawings. So.
And yes, stop beeping me, people. You know I'm on the radio. Jesus. Yes, Carol. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh no, she was just asking about Roku. It's nothing important.
You were talking about non-human forces, and I know you were going to bring up the delightfully controversial AI subject. So
Oh yes. Before we get into Echo's art, people, this AI is okay. So I said this a while back. Jeff Weiner turned me on to this about a year ago. He was on the network, and we're just chit chatting about his book and other goofy stuff, and then he just throws this into the mix. I'm like, what the heck is this? And we got, you know what? I'm not kidding y'all. As soon as I got off the air with him, I called John Goodman and said, what the bleep, 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 and bleep, 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 and bleep, bleep, bleep is this? Because I was pissed. Y'all got to remember, I'm not even an author or an illustrator, but it pissed me right the hell off. And so I was like, well, Joe, calm down. It can't be copyrighted, blah, 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 blah. So what we're talking about is they have software out there now. Well, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it an algorithm. I don't really care. It's still the same thing. That you can give it a description of something and it will create it for you. You can give it colors. It'll do its own thing in the beginning, whatever tones it thinks it wants in colors and whatever. And then you can go back and tell it how to adjust itself. It's really cool. But my biggest problem with this is I'm more worried about a bunch of the small businesses in the United States, not just the United States, but around the planet, start using this for all their generated artwork. Unless it's something they want to copyright, I can see a lot of people doing this. But with big companies, it's going to be different. And that's what Echo and I was talking about before we came back in. Do you want to be the one who pisses off your illustrator? What do you think?
The problem is the AR art's really good, and that's primarily because, I mean, you are what you eat. That's the easiest way to say it. Is that it's learning from all the illustrators and all the art that's out there, and it compiles it in it. There's articles on showing how it like disassembles it and reassembles things in order to put together really cool stuff. But it is in fact taking apart artists' work and stealing artists' work, which sucks. So if I see something like a book that has AI on it, I won't buy it. I'm like, nope. No,
because it's just irritating is what it is. And now, so this is how this all started, this conversation that night when we were talking about comic books. He goes, I'm going to make a comic book for you right now. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, watch. So we talked, I gave him like a paragraph about some BS, whatever. I think it was some sci-fi stuff. Not only did it write the story, but it made the little balloons and put the story in, and it created the artwork. It made a full out comic book from start to finish. And I hate to say it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I was stunned. And then it really pissed me off. I felt sorry for John that night because I was pissed. I'm like, John, I don't know how we're going to take care of this. And I said, I know with the illustrators, a lot of times there's layers of work. So sometimes we can do that. I said, but not all of them do that anymore. Some of them are doing on pads and stuff like this. And I said the same thing with the authors. I said, how are we going to know what the authors are writing? So now they're looking for a way to, check for the algorithm and stuff, because really and truly, no one deserves a win if they cheated. Let's just be honest about it. Plus, I just have too many friends that are in the writing and illustrating business. I don't want to see them. And it's a tough business. People, y'all don't know. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of big, rich illustrators out there, but it's a tough business. It's not like y'all think it is. You might be the great one who gets filthy, stinky rich. Or you might be the one that's going to work your entire life doing good work. And who judges that, right? The person who hires you. Echo has fabulous work, yes. All the illustrators I met at the Writers and Illustrators all had fabulous work. The only one I haven't had on the network so far is Dan DeSantis, and I'll get him DeSantis. I always want to call him DeSantis. I got to watch that. I'm making him governor, man. Damn. He's going to be governor of Florida, thanks to Joe. But he's the only one who hasn't been on. But him and I have talked extensively and things. And he was sharing weird mojito drinks with me this year. I was like, what is this nasty thing you give me? I had to give him try. Drink was nasty, people. I don't know what to tell you. I like trying to do craft drinks. I'm not lying. But sometimes I'm like, they're nasty. They're just nasty.
He had a big deadline last year when he was at the show. And this year he actually got to enjoy it a little more, which was nice.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to stay an extra night, and he was, and then I don't know, something changed his mind, or he got sensible when he went to bed that night, because he'd said something to me about it. And John, I was having drinks with John and Emily, and I asked John about it. And John said, well, sure, I can arrange it for him to stay an extra night. So he called Dan and told him. He called Joni actually like at 1:30 in the morning And Dan's go, you got pull. I said, I ain't got pull. They just like you. I said, you got the pull. I was just the one that mentioned it. I said, it
They
got
work.
nothing to do with me.
The Galaxy Press folks work really, really hard to treat the winners and the judges really, really well.
Well, I like all of y'all. So this is a lucky thing for me. Don't get me wrong. I've worked groups like y'all before. And a lot of times I really don't like a lot of the people I meet. And a lot of them are really, really snotty. And then see,
But what do you really think?
But and it makes me really snotty when they do that, because one guy's telling me, I said, dude, don't even start with me. You don't know my background, where I came from. Just stop, because I'm gonna make you look like an asshole. So just stop. And I remember this clearly. We were in New York, and a friend of mine walked up behind me and said, dude, stop. You don't know Joe. Joe is a mean SOB. Just stop. You're gonna regret it if you don't. And he looked back at me and he said something to him, and I mentioned 2 names to him, and he just walked off. Because, well, we have everybody, I got a research team. I have everybody researched out.
Yeah.
And that's what they do, And if they find anything funky monkey, then they tell me, hey, look at this or look at that. And they do other research for me besides that. I've been lucky in the fact that I've always had a big research team around me for different things. And they like to take good care of me. Matter of fact, my station manager is very protective of me. She's mean as hell, man. Damn. We're not mentioning no names. Michelle DeRoche. No, she's a sweetie pie. She's got more TV credits than half the movie stars in Hollywood too. And she does a lot of TV. John, we have Echo Chernik on tonight. Yes, I'm gonna pull up her website in a few minutes. That was yes, but he doesn't always use that name. That was Lazarus. He was on with us 2 weeks ago. His archive's up. You can go check it up. If you're only looking for the audio version, it is on SoundCloud, and it's available there on any other 5 billion archive sites. If you're looking for video, it is on Roku. If you want to watch it on your big 80-inch TV, you can see his big pretty eyes on your big TV. You can zoom in.
Maybe I want to go watch it.
Or you can watch it on YouTube or things like that. It's available in all those places, yes. Yes. No, this is the boss that's on with us right now. Oh, no. I know who the boss is. I know who the boss is. We're not even going there.
Yeah, Laz's anthology book just came out, and then his new book is coming out. I'm cracking the whip. I'm like, finish the book. So it should be coming out shortly.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be interesting. So we talked about it a little bit.
It's going to be great.
It's so hard to talk about new books without giving something away. You say the wrong damn thing and you gave half the book away. And I've actually had experienced authors come on and do that. They'll start talking and they forget sometimes, because we're just chit-chatting, they forget that we're actually live and people can hear us.
Yeah, don't give away the important parts.
And I'm always don't give away. Don't say anything about the beginning or the end, and barely anything about the middle. Just say some filler stuff. They get so mad at me when I tell them that, because they will. They'll get the damn book away.
But I wanted to get, because this is his first book, and he just decided to finally just self-publish it. I wanted to make sure that it had a good cover, so I hired and art directed an illustrator specifically to do the cover for it, and he was so excited. And so that'll be out at Gen Con. The cover is so important for the book, and I wanted to make sure that I used an artist that you just could not mistake for AI. I was like, nope, this is actually a lot of work and time was put into making sure it's awesome.
Well, I know him and I were talking about some of the places he was going, some of the stuff he was going to be into. Mm-hmm. He sounds like he's going to be doing a lot of traveling. Yep,
he does that during the summer. He's going to be, we'll be at San Diego Comic-Con and at Gen Con in Indianapolis and at Dragon Con. And I'm going to be flying down and meeting him there. I'm going to be at keeping the gallery up here, doing more work.
Yes. Well, Denise, no, they have a gallery in their hometown where they live. Yes. So somebody got to be there.
It's in Fairhaven.
Do y'all want Fairhaven? We could talk about a place called Fairhaven, but we'll go into something else. One of y'all going to go volunteer to run the place while they're traveling? Yeah, I bet. Jeez. Look, y'all some bad audience tonight. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, it has an amazing restaurant next door called the Black Cat, which is an Art Nouveau restaurant, like an Art Nouveau themed older restaurant, and it has amazing food and amazing cocktails, and they deliver to my gallery on plates, so I ate there way too much. So.
Hey, I like anything that delivers these days. But a friend of mine's like, he likes to do Uber Eats and stuff. I said, why do you buy? I said, you know how much it costs to get a food sent from Uber Eats? I said, even when I got a lot of money, I don't want to spend it on Uber Eats. Oh wait, what did I just do with that? I just had that. It's I'm just. But I live in New Orleans, or I'm in New Orleans a lot these days, so there's always good food somewhere.
Oh yeah, you have.
Somebody's always pigging out. Well, today I get a phone call where we're at, my son and I were working, so we stopped to get lunch, and we stopped at a place called Bud's Broilers. It's just a little hole in the wall hamburger joint, and I just really like their hot dogs, their chili dogs. They put them on a hamburger bun, and they slice the hot dogs in half.
Ooh,
And they use cheddar cheese and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, I love eating it. Somebody goes, and where are you eating? One of my favorite places, something I can't even eat anymore. I'm like, no. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm pleading the fifth on this. Okay, are we there? Oh, look, there we are. I see your stuff right there. Wait, which side am I on?
There's my stuff.
Wait, which side am I on? I'm on a different site.
The EchoChernik.com site. That's my prints. I've been doing putting up a lot more of the prints, and my new book is going to be up there very soon. And if you want to see my commercial work that's for different companies, you go to echo-x.com.
Okay, look at this hot little thing, man. Meow. All right, children, go to bed.
That's not even the sexy
I'm
stuff.
just saying, I know we're not
the
there, but
stuff.
children, go to bed before we get anywhere like that. You're too young to be looking at this
Go to my Patreon
stuff.
if you want to see the sexy stuff. It's patreon.com/the Excalibur Project. THEXCALIBER.
I'll have to go.
Then there's the sexy stuff.
I don't know. It's pretty damn sexy. What do you think, Jay?
It doesn't suck. It's really good.
It doesn't suck. Why? Thank you.
I'm thinking I need a little sip of this coffee down here. I'm thinking, oh man,
I'm gonna put that quote on my
that's
website.
An oil also.
That one's digital.
It's a what?
That one's digital.
Digital.
Yeah,
digital.
I think Photoshop and Illustrator. No AI. That's not the same thing. It doesn't take any less time to do it digitally than it does to do it in oil paint.
I just love the use of colors on this thing. I lost where I was at. It's Janine, y'all can see. Well, this is just I've seen some of these before.
That's for Ballet West, the Nutcracker, in Salt Lake City, Utah.
A little heathen child. Oh my God, we need to move on from that. People, I'm just saying, little heathen children.
No, here's the sexier stuff. That's for my Patreon.
So, what is it? It's 10 o'clock. We're good. It don't matter what they can. They're not in bed. It's mama's problem. It's
11 o'clock here, so you're good.
Yeah, that's
nothing more than you'd see in Europe, unlike
it's
McDonald's.
Not anything any more than you'd see in New Orleans. I mean, just walking around downtown. Wait, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'll move this over in a second. I gotta move this over and move this over. Oh, damn! Now I'm put the crazy girl up there.
Which one are you putting up next?
No, it's just when my screen came back up, I seen what's her name's face over my face. Okay, let's go here. See, look.
Yeah, that one. Man. I had that one in the Seattle Erotic Art Festival a couple weeks ago, and it did really good. I sold that one.
Yes, I'm thinking this one's R-rated. It's
R-rated.
It's R-rated, man.
Nipples. The reference I used was men nipples, and put those on.
All right, we'll do PG-19.
PG-19. That I guess so.
We'll do PG-19.
Well, for movie ratings, if it wasn't showing the crotch, it would be PG. But there's a crotch in there, so it's R.
See, people, it's R. So if little heathens are under 17, go to bed. And the bitch part of it is when I see this picture, especially when I blow it up like this, the face just, she did it the way it just looks like
it's
somebody.
Photorealistic, really.
Yes. Well, to me, it just looks like somebody. Did you use the model for this?
Yeah, I used the model. That model is, her name is Charlotta Champagne. Can't talk. Charlotta Champagne, and she's in Los Angeles, actually. And I arranged
I was wondering because there was
Carlotta. Can't talk today.
Because you really captured her face, really. Well, you captured everything really well. We're just talking about her face at the moment. It just because every time I looked at her, I'm like, wow, she's like somebody I know, or I feel like I've seen her.
She's an awesome model to work with. She's in a couple of my pieces, the Tequila Cthulhu one as well.
So, So do these models get paid extra because they can stay in one place for a long time?
Well, I shoot reference. I shoot reference from, but
Oh, okay.
and I usually I don't work just from one picture. It's a bunch of different. I shoot a whole bunch of different reference, hundreds of pictures, and so Carlotta posed for me for a couple hours, and then I use those as a base for my drawings. Then I do the drawing, and then I paint them, and I have a Cintiq that I paint right on the monitor that I paint on. So it's not actually a photograph; it is a painting. It just happens to look photorealistic. And
It's I mean, everything in here. I mean, look at the colors in here. They got shit just
yeah,
hidden in here. I mean, as you go through, because I don't know, people, y'all can, if you're watching us on any venue, just blow it up because there's all kind of detail in here. I've got it blown up on this screen, but you'll have to blow our screen up to see it better. I mean, everywhere you look in here, there's just something.
I like symbolism. I've always been a big fan of symbolism in Art Nouveau, but I like to throw in symbolism whenever I can. So.
Yes, because I mean, everywhere you look, I mean, you see it's in here. It's all along through here. Oh, excuse me, ass got in my face there by accident. It's but I mean, there's just. I mean, even what you've got on her back and on her arm. I mean, there's so much stuff going on here. Well, see, this is kind of art I like. People, I like art that I can look at it, and when I look at it again, I'm like, oh wait, I didn't see that. Or I look at it again, and it's like watching an old episode of Star Trek or something. You're like, wow, I didn't see that. Where the hell did that come from?
Or listening to a favorite piece of music, and then you hear a lyric you never heard before.
Yeah, that's true. A strike. They okay, somebody's upside down here. We'll have to get her.
Yeah, it's a sexier one.
Say, hey, Mama.
You're in
hey.
the sexier stuff here.
Well, I think because I went somewhere where it said for sale or shop or something.
I'm illustrating for my Patreon. I'm illustrating Maya by Richard Adams. Richard Adams was the author of Watership Down, and I've always loved the book ever since I was younger and much younger, and I've always wanted to illustrate it. And since it's more erotic in nature, when I started doing the Patreon, I was like, I'd love to do that. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm a grown up and a professional, so I contacted them and the family, and I got the rights to illustrate it, and so it should be released the next year. And I will definitely have to send something for you to put behind you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'll put it right there. Because you're one of my favorite people. So
I'm doing like 150 different chapter headers in black and white. A lot of the book is black and white kind of name drawings. Of course, you're in all the color stuff right now, but.
Yeah. What do you mean, Jackie? Oh, because I've said she is one of my favorite people. I really like her because she's just who she is. I like people who are what they are.
Scary, apparently.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're scary good though, not scary bad.
Scary, adorable.
Scary. That's right. Scary good, not scary bad. Actually, no, she's very approachable. Whoever wrote that, I've seen that go by.
Go to home on the home button there. Go to the home button.
I'm going to home.
Yeah, go home. Go home. Go home. Scroll down.
Okay.
There's Maya right there on the left. You see, that's the link for the book, and then I have the. And I think there should be. I don't know what he's put up there. There's some black and whites up there.
Yeah, see this one right here, or black and gold. Might be a better way of saying this.
Those have gold foil. The gold foil prints are just awesome. I love how they print them. We don't print those in the gallery. We have those printed out because they actually put the gold foil, and they're really cool looking in person.
I was watching somebody do gold foil the other day. I was thinking, she's got to have some serious patience for this. I was like, because I'd have been gold foiling the walls and shit before I stopped. The only thing I seen just recently that kind of aggravated me a little bit too, because meeting Michael Talbot, Michael Talbot was doing those that art on those walls outside, which I thought was really cool. And down in New Orleans, that's a big thing down here. We like to paint our walls and put stuff on them. I mean, different places. Hell, they even made the prisoners their talent. They let them go paint the walls. But they really do. And then the other day I'm watching this guy with this little laser thing making murals on people's walls. I mean, it was fast. It was good. Whatever picture it would copy whatever picture you gave it perfectly.
Wow.
And it would just put it on there. And I watched him do a 10-foot, 30-foot, a 30 by 30. I was like, come on, you got to be kidding me.
Wow.
And that's big money for an artist. I was thinking, man, that bites. I mean, don't get me wrong, because for somebody like me, if I wanted to have one done in my house, I think I could do like my front wall would cost like $500. Of course, my wife I'd get killed because a lot of the people in my family can paint and draw. So they would be like, For some reason, none of them, and they're all very talented, at least as talented as some of the people I've seen, none of them wanted to do it professionally. One daughter, she thought about being a commercial artist, and she went to school for it, and she was good. They liked her, but she said she made more money working for one of the apartment complex companies.
Oh yeah, probably. Go to echochernik.com. Or sorry, echo-x.com so you can see my other stuff too.
Yeah, let's go over here. I think we had it on here.
Echo-x.
Hold on,
Or it's probably at the top somewhere.
Well, I had it.
There's probably a link there somewhere.
What did I do with it? I guess did I already close it? Let me go see. Well, I had one open. No, I guess I didn't see, so I'll have to go change it. All right, let's go see. Hey, stop. Damn it. Well, that's where we are. We're on my Shopify.
Yeah, go to echo-x.com.
Okay, echo-x.com. When the hyphen went to on my computer. Where the hell? I know it's right here.
Use the minus sign for hyphen.
Well, it should be right here in front of my face.
Or right above the plus sign on your.
There it goes. Well, no, I didn't know where it went. I was like, Twitch. Don't worry about it, people. It's been one of those kind of days, and we're just not going to talk about that.
Losing your hyphen.
Since we had to have this on every nick we had on Pal Talk. So, wait, do we got?
You there?
Still
on my other site.
Wait, did I? No, wait, hold on. No, I did something wrong.
Uh-oh.
I got something spelled wrong.
Do you have an age limiter on your computer so you can't look at naughty
stuff?
It's
echo-x.com. No echo-ch-x. Just echo-x.
Okay, hold on. Let's get that out of it. Stop, thing. Goddamn computer. I'm going to toss you out the window in a minute. There we go.
Yeah, AI is going to be challenging for now on, I think, because a lot of people are going to a lot of companies are going to cheap out and use AI. Like you said, it's good and it's cheap.
Well, if you look at some of the stuff that Hollywood's pumping out, it seems like they're already using it like extensively.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know how this is going to play out. It really irritates the crap out of me. So I got to be honest now before people start writing to me, because I know what's coming next. I never thought I was going to actually be an advocate for illustrators and writers. If you'd have asked me this 10 years ago, I'd have said, "What are you, stupid? Are you smoking something?" But I've made a lot of friends now, and it's actually pissing me off more than pissing some of them off. It's just, I feel like it's just a dirty slap in someone's face for no reason. So I mean, yeah. I know we have to advance technologically. I understand that, but there comes a point where we need to regulate stuff and say, okay, yeah, you know what? We can use this AI for kids to get a better understanding of certain things. So like preschool up to junior high, and that would be it. I don't think it should be allowed to be used in any context for any kind of business. And I know every big company in the world is going to sue, but we need the illustrators, because what's going to happen is we're going to still have illustrators, but they're going to be illustrators doing the keyboard. They're going to be telling the thing what to draw or what to make. I shouldn't say draw.
I get worried about, like, what about the kids growing up now? I mean, they're growing, when you grow up and you draw pictures and everyone goes, wow, that's amazing. Your drawings are so good. I mean, I remember I used to look at Larry's art, and then I used to draw dragons on them. Remember we used to make the book covers for your textbooks out of paper bags, and I would draw dragons on them, and people would be all like, wow, that's great. That really motivated me to keep drawing and keep working on it. But if you're a young artist now and you draw something and people are like, I could just type in whatever and get something like way better, it's not going to give them the motivation to actually like pursue their art, because it's just too overwhelming. It's just too intimidating, because you're like, I could never do that. I can never do what this program does. It's scary.
Yeah, but there are things you can do that the program can't. If you're working with an actual canvas and gesso, you can't see brushstrokes in a computer.
Right.
And if they're generated, they're fake. So, one of my paintings that I have downstairs, I don't even know who did it. It looks like a vision out of, looking out of a Hawaiian beach across a lagoon to another island. And then there's looks like King Kong on the other side of the island. It's not King Kong, but I can actually go up to it. And I can see where the brush actually made little lines in the different colors. I wouldn't be surprised if I were to take like a metal pick. I might find, hair from the brushes inside the oil.
Oh yeah, you will definitely. I know my own opinions of all kinds.
Yeah, even if you're using a good brush, whether you're using a good sable or good synthetic, you're going to leave stuff behind. You're going to leave marks. They can identify. allegedly they can identify great masters by their technique. They recently found a Leonardo, I believe, within the last 2-3 years, 4 years, something like that. It's just amazing that if you do that, you can determine what it is. The only way you know about the digital is that they have that residual information. Like you take a digital picture with your cell phone, it takes down metadata. That's the only way you'll know who did it.
Yeah, I mean, I have traditional work and I work traditionally, but I do a lot of digital because I do a lot of this stuff that you're seeing now, which is commercial work, which it makes sense to do digitally.
Yeah,
Again, that's different than AI.
Absolutely.
Sorry to interrupt, but I may have to get this as a tattoo. I don't know. There's something I like about this. Well, being ex-Navy, I don't know. It looks, I don't know. We're going to move on before I get myself in trouble.
That was fun to do.
That looks like a tarot card.
It does. I have no doubt she can do some wicked tarot decks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. You got the skill there with that plaque we just saw.
There's Cutie Pie again. Have we seen these? Okay. Wait, no, we ain't seen these.
But just make sure people support artists whenever you get the chance to, because it's going to be extra tough for a while, I think.
Echo, where did you go to school for art?
I went to Pratt in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. I went to SCAD down in Savannah. I don't know if you heard of that one.
Yep. I didn't go to SCAD. I had a full scholarship there, but I just chose to go to New York instead.
Oh, you missed out. SCAD's a really cool place.
Yeah. No, I know it was one of the ones I was looking at. It was between SCAD or RISD or Pratt, and I decided to go to New York City.
This looks vaguely familiar for some reason.
Vaguely?
Where did I see this at? I might have seen this somewhere. I don't know. Did I have a copy back here?
Do you have a copy
behind you?
I bet you I got a copy back here somewhere.
I bet you got a book in that pile somewhere.
Well, I got a copy because I had them out the other night because Bridget was on with me and she was in 36 and 37. And but she was pregnant for us, so she couldn't come. She was a runner-up or something in the first one and winner in the second time around. But she was pregnant, so she couldn't come. So she's got 5 kids, she told me. I was like, 5? God, you're a saint.
Wow.
I
have
one.
The giant wings from that. If you go back and you watch the Illustrators of the Future, that's 36. The giant wings that are on stage, I have those in my gallery.
Yes, she does. I don't believe she does. I mean, we were talking about it the night, I think the night of the gala, the night before. And she was talking about bringing them home with her. I'm like, wow.
So yeah, Tom would help me build up something in the back of the U-Haul, and I drove him back.
Tom's a good
That was fun. That was the year. That's the year I broke my foot right before I had to be on stage too.
Yes, I remember that. Okay, this is 37. Yeah, this is 37. So that's not it. That's the
second one. Yeah.
Yes. What's those green guys, Jay?
Which green guys?
Oh, the superhero green guys.
The Crow or the Screen?
No, the Lantern.
Oh, the Green Lantern Corps.
The Green Lantern?
Yeah, so I just mean she's like the female.
There's the Pink Lantern Corps, there's Black Lanterns, Blue Lanterns, Yellow Lanterns. So the green ones are the good guys.
So
told you had a book with that on it.
Oh, I know I do. Well, these are autographs, so these stay here. These don't go anywhere. They're just there for people who want to look at them or see them. Like the stack behind me.
So Echo, I know at the end of every year that you put out the anthology with all the stories and the artwork, but do they do just a book for just the artwork?
It's in the book.
I know.
I know, but as an artist, I'm not I do video. That's my degree, but I would rather have a book of lithographs of the artwork. Sometimes even I've got a book of what's his name, Boris Vallejo's stuff. And sometimes so they have plaques in the book that show you like his research drawings for the next plaque you see. That would be awesome to do.
No, that would be awesome to do. I don't think they've done anything like that yet. I have to bring that up to them. But the anthology they have the color art in it now, which is awesome. So
yeah, they have it in the books, and what's nice about it is they're signed by the artist. So they're in the front of the book and they're signed. Like this is which year this is. Okay.
Yeah, they don't have the progress pictures though.
This looks like some weird old guy trying to scoop up some young girl here, pervert. No, I'm just teasing people. Just teasing people. Before anybody writes to me, I'm just teasing. Yeah. Oh, this is an autograph version. Where did this one come from? Oh, I don't usually keep them around. I usually give them away. So, but anyway, I mean, every picture that was done at the reveal is in there in each book, and they are signed. They do a signing. It's like a madhouse thing. Books
And they're so
flying
excited.
everywhere.
It's
Oh,
awesome.
it is. It is awesome.
They're
So
all,
so this year, if y'all are on TikTok or any of my other pages, I actually had Emily send me the video of them coming in and seeing the artwork for the first time this year. So that's up. It's actually doing quite well on all the reels. So y'all can go take a look at it and see what it looks like. Eventually, it'll be on a website, so y'all can see it on a website. But it's very interesting. I've seen 4 of them now, and there's always lots of tears going around. It's amazing to me though how well they get some of these stories, and how when the author sees it for the first time, they're kind of like, wow. And since I'm reading the stories and I see the artwork, I kind of get an idea, how close the artwork. By the way, out of 4 years, I have not picked a winner right yet. I'm just saying I am.
I don't know who the winner is until they announce
just
it.
don't
You
even
can predict
ask me to pick the
presidents,
winner.
but you can't predict illustrators and
Yes,
authors.
I have not predicted president wrong yet, but I cannot. Well, no, like this year, man, I like these two pieces. These 2 pieces of art. This art right here is definitely going to win. Definitely going to win. Not even close.
Next time, try
Not even
reverse the
close.
one you hate the most. Say that one's going to win, and I'll bet you it does.
Well, what was the story that won this year? The one about oh shit, I can't remember now. What the hell? Which story was it? It was the one about oh, come on. See, people, my
I knew
brain
until
is.
you said something.
I know.
can't remember either.
So it's the Grim Reaper and the Taxman. I can't remember the name of the story, and it is a good story. It's weird, but it's I guess it's worthy of winning. But the artwork on it is guy looks kind of like somebody from Star Wars with the Reaper sword, the Reaper blade.
He's awesome.
Yes, it is. It's you know what? Do I have it right here? Let me see if I can find it. It's
we had a lot of fun with that one.
It's
over the sketches for it, and,
but I read I read the book, and I was kind of like, I went through the stories, and I enjoyed stories. I try to explain to people, because they ask me, is it all sci-fi? I said, no, actually, it's very little sci-fi, and it's more. There it is. Let's see if I can get it up.
I read a lot of art direction on that. What I did do is we hit a few things in there. If you look at his tie, he's got 13 stripes on his tie, which is symbolic of the number of steps up to the hangman's noose. Hiding little stuff like that just kind of makes it interesting.
That also has to be how many knots there are in the noose.
Yep. So that's why I was like, how can we make this better? I'm like, you just hide a little symbolism in there.
Oh,
we did.
Oh, Carolyn, no, this is. I didn't think this one was going to win. I got to say this. And if you're living, I love you. But I think the picture would have been better if they'd left the girl out. But I'm not an artist, so don't ask me.
She's very specifically wanted to do a person, and she did a great job at it. And she hired a model, and she shot, and she did all the reference for it, and she just did a really, great job at it.
The person came out great. I'm not criticizing, but for some reason when I see it, I don't know. It just doesn't sit with me for some reason. But again, people, that's why she's the boss. That's why Echo's the boss, and I'm just there looking around. Because I love the dragon. By the way, I think it's a fabulous dragon. It's
really well.
Yes, she does do dragons really well.
So after the people win, they're select. They send their portfolios in, and then they're selected as a winner. And then basically Joni calls you up and says, "You're a winner," and you're super excited. And then Maliva contacts you, and she signs one of the stories from one of the writer winners. So the writer winners have their 12 winning stories, and then she assigns those very particularly to the 12 different illustrators, trying to pick and choose which ones would work well with their style. So she's good at the dragon. She chose somebody that did dragons and such, and then they work with me, and I work as the art director. And for a lot of time, this is the first time that they've ever worked with an art director. So I worked with some really great art directors, and I worked with some really not so great art directors. So I try to make sure that I guide them to do the best piece they can do for their style without over art directing it and making it, a miserable experience. So
Who was it? No, I don't think I've ever talked about Maliva on the radio. Maybe once or twice, picking on her, but no.
yeah, she does a great job. She's like she picks out the stories
Oh,
she
Joe drives her
handpicks them.
batshit crazy. Oh yes. I told her one time she was telling me something. I said, they pay me money to make you crazy, right? She's like, no, they don't. I said, no, they do, really. Actually, I really like Maliva. She's a great photographer, not including her real job. So photography she's doing for the event, but that's not actually her real job. She actually has
they just figured out she's really good at it, and so they now she has to do all the photography.
Oh, poor not Savannah. Poor Chelsea got stuck doing it this year for a while for some reason. They needed her help. I went in there. I was taking pictures. I said, "What are you doing, girl? Get up here with me." She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Come up here with me. You get on this side. I'll get on this side." So I said, "Me and Maliva do this all the time, and then we'll just crisscross behind her." Because what was funny? I've shot with Maliva now 4 years, so I know her height. So when I'm shooting, I never have to worry about her getting in the shot. Chelsea's, Miss Amazon. So I was getting the back of her head and stuff, so I had to watch that. It's y'all don't know who Chelsea is. It would take me too long to explain to you. She's just part of what goes on there. There's a lot of people that make this event happen, not including the judges. There's a lot of other people too. Yes, and I get to aggravate them too. John tells me I can aggravate whoever I want. So, don't ask me why. No, there's a reason.
I can tell you why. Because then they're not going to hassle him.
It's no, there's just a lot that goes on. The judges themselves have a lot to do, and then the winners themselves have even more to do. And then on top of that, there's a whole staff making sure this shit doesn't blow up and go haywire, or go crazy or something.
They do an amazing job.
And they do an amazing job. One of my favorite people there is Emily Goodwin. Even though I give her a ton of crap all the time, she is.
Don't.
I do.
Be nice to Emily.
He does. You should watch some of the archive shows.
Yes, she's a Canadian. I don't have a choice, and it's one of the things. It's I told her, I said, be nice, and I'll send you some. I'll get Amelia to send you some Canadian chocolate, and it's. But I mean, she does an amazing job, and then there's Joni. Joni is working her ass. Everybody there is working. I mean, it doesn't matter who they are. John, you see John, you don't see John. You see John, you don't see John. Emily, starting like on Wednesday, is like a ghost. The only time you catch her, I get her a glass of wine late at night. John and I and her would be sitting out there in the lobby having wine like 1:30 in the morning. It's just part of it. What? No, yeah, those are great pictures up there. We haven't even talked about them. They're just sitting there right now. Yeah, they're great pictures. See, that's a whole deck in itself as I'm looking at it.
I can't tell what the bird is in the gray one because I don't have my glasses on, but there's a swan theme, and then there's the other one. Is it a wolf theme on the far right?
On this one? I don't know if I can blow it up. No, it won't let me.
Huh.
It just changed. It just changed pictures. I think we lost Echo for a minute. So yeah, she'll be back in a second. It's but she just got great artwork all up in here. All professional stuff here.
Was that other one a game? The one before?
Yeah.
Is it a game? Oh, cool. I'm a huge board gamer. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
I used to play board games. I never get to play anymore. I never get.
Well, you got exactly about 12 hours to get up here tomorrow. I'm having games here at the house around 1 o'clock.
Oh shit! It's funny. A gentleman up there was trying to sell me a ride in Lemoore I forgot what town it is in Pittsburgh. He said, "Well, you got no friends down here that can drive it down to your house." I'm like, I said, Pittsburgh, New Orleans is not like around the corner, my friend.
No, it's 3 hours for me.
It's a nice little drive. Echo, did we lose you? I think we lost her. She's being. Oh wait, what we got here? Now, see, I looked up here and instantly thought tarot cards, right?
Yeah.
Tea boxes.
Those are teas? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see a little coffee.
At least on the top they
pasta.
are. I don't know what this is on the bottom.
Herbs.
Hopefully we'll get her back.
I guess what's underneath is what they go good with. The tea for meat and the tea for seafood.
I don't know, but they're cool. The artwork
Yeah.
is fabulous.
Well, that's definitely the kind of stuff you see on Celestial Seasons. I hadn't realized that was her work.
Is this
I
like an
recognize
Indian pasta girl? Echo, is this an Indian pasta girl? This stuff. Okay, the plants just threw me off.
Botany, yeah. It's like a textbook
I
kind
can't
of thing.
hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Somewhere when you, let me think. When you first come back in, there's a place to, you might be able to do it in here if you can see the settings on the bottom.
Yeah, there should be mute, stop cam settings.
And if you can find it, there's an audio section in there where you can see if you got the right mic selected. You'll see it if you're talking. You'll see the little green slider next to it going if you're in the right place.
Good old baby Huey approves. He likes the plants.
Oh, and some guy who was I was listening to today was trying to sell me those rough greens for my dogs.
Oh shit!
They're like, "We'll send you a bag for free." I'm like, "Okay, but my dogs ain't eating no greens, and I barely get them to eat food."
Yeah, and my puppy, he tried to take him to go out to go poo after he eats, and what does he do? He mows the grass.
We
like a
done
sheep.
lost the girl. I think we done lost her somehow.
Well, she did type in the chat that can we hear her, and I said no audio.
No, I can't hear her. Can you hear us? Well, that's just weird. Look around, make sure nothing's muted. Let me see. That's weird. Gene writes in, well, I can see her. I was like, seeing her is not what we want. We want to be able to hear her. Actually, she's a lot of fun. If y'all can win, if I was you, I would submit just so you can hang out with her. She's a lot of fun. She does a lot of stuff. She gets a lot of stuff going, and she's a lot of fun. Well, it doesn't really matter. We were gonna have to let her go anyway because it's 10:30, so we were only keeping her for an hour. Yeah, no, we're gonna finish looking through this, even if we. See, now I'm just getting hungry looking at these.
Yeah.
So look at this thing. There's shit all up
Oh
in here.
yeah.
She's got far more patience than I could ever have to do this. There's just no way. I would lose my mind after about 15 minutes. I was lucky in the Navy. They had this. You had to count the O's and the C's. It was part of the test.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, I will have to kill someone if I have to count these. But for some reason, I got a system in my head and counted them perfectly. I was like, must be the vampire in me. Well, girl, where'd she go? We lost her. I guess we have to let you go. I mean, it was time for you to go home anyway. But, everybody, we got our sites up, so you can go check out our sites. And there's the book. Oh, look, there it is. And I don't know. She's something more than likely. It's one of the settings coming in. It is sometimes silent StreamYard throws your settings off. No, but we had to let her go anyway. She was only supposed to be with us for an hour. We already kept her for like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. Let me do like this. Wait, let me remove this. Hold on, stop screen. Oh wait, now I got you.
Now we can hear.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on your end.
It was. You know what it was? You weren't in the queue.
It was Joe.
It was Joe.
It wasn't me at
Joe.
all. So.
No, it was Joe. It was not.
I checked all of the things.
See, look, I'm poking Joe's ear.
Some of the headers I was talking about.
It was look. So yes, y'all can see, guys.
So, did anybody have any questions about my?
Oh wait, you're saying? Oh well, excuse me. I thought you meant I was very pretty. Excuse me. It's
dead goat.
That's it.
It's my dead goat.
Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me put you in a different mode so they can see. But nope, that's me. We don't want to see me. Let's get out of here.
And going back to pen and ink.
Oh yeah, you don't want to see me either.
It's I can see her better on this one for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's like a Capricorn theme.
That dead goat. So.
Goat is Capricorn, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I'm going back a lot more to black and white pieces. Partially because AI doesn't really do that well, and that's where I started my career. I'm looking for some more to show.
Oh, there we go. Now we got you bigger.
Oh, I'm big. I'm huge.
Oh yeah, look at that. He's huge.
I'm huge.
She's tiny, people.
So anyway, so there's the that's my new book. Okay, you can take me off mute now.
Man. All right, hold on. Let me move you down here with the rest of us nerds.
Call in Dr. Shrink.
I like. You know, I'm funny with black and white. I either like it or I don't. I like that. I just sometimes I see black and white. I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
It's my preferred medium with photography. I mean, Ansel Adams has. I mean, most of what his pictures are is in the process of developing it and printing it, but you don't get the kind of detail in his black and whites that you would do of the same scene in color.
You can't cheat either. You have to understand, shapes, because you can't just be like, I'm just going to fill that in with some color and no one will notice it.
Yeah, and the shading and color. You can't get that so much when there's a lot of color in there.
Yeah, but people, they don't. I don't know. It's never as popular.
That looks Japanese.
That looks like one of my exes.
Very Japanese. You got European ships with Japanese waves. That's cool.
Okay, this looks like one of them aliens I've been talking about just recently.
Looks like some Escher stuff or what's his name?
Oh, but she's got a yarn basket like made of a rib cage. I want a yarn basket.
There is so much stuff going on in here.
Well, I mean, if you're going there for a rib cage yarn basket, you might as well go for a rib cage, picnic basket too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But if you actually that piece is digital, but if you printed it out, it would be 20 feet tall. So full size. Yeah.
It's like for the side of a building.
Yep. It's a huge piece.
Was it designed for a building?
Hot Topic originally years ago.
There we go.
Did you design it to be put on the side of a building, or is that just
no? They were going to use it for Hot Topic for a really big presentation, and then they just didn't, which happens all the time.
Whoops,
just
let me go back for a
minute.
Shame
on them.
I know, because there's a lot of stuff. This is great. I mean, there's great colors in here. As you look, and when you first look at that basket, if she wouldn't have said it's a rib basket, I'd have probably looked over it 3 or 4 times before I noticed it. And
there's the monkey that's got his skull open with the
see it.
It's got the yarn coming out of it.
Yeah, okay.
There's just a lot of imagination here and a lot of stuff going on. It's so you could sit here and look at this, especially if you had a big, you could really just look around. There's all kind of stuff going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jesse, there is. There's a lot of stuff going on. Can she teach you? I don't know. Do you teach classes? I mean,
currently I just teach at the Illustrators of the Future. I don't teach classes right now. I used to.
That counts.
Yeah, I used to teach. I'm working on my own projects right now, so I probably will again in the future. Maybe an online forum. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Well, if y'all are listening to my advice, I would get some skill under your belt before you ask her to teach you. Yeah, I'm just draw. My best advice is to just draw, because it doesn't matter if you do it digitally or traditionally. Not AI. AI doesn't count. That's not really. See, I just can't look at Chocolate Girl. She makes me hungry.
She's supposed to.
Every time I look at you, because I know red's one of the colors you use to make people hungry.
Yep. And to make you hungry, and that's why restaurants have red in them a lot.
Yes,
and that's why most of our food is red.
When I was a GM for a fast food chain way back, 40, 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things they had us do is install these red neon lights all throughout. I'm not going to tell you what company it is, people. All I'll tell you is they're still around today, and they're super huge, and they paid me a lot of money. I got to be honest. I never thought, as a general manager for a fast food chain, and we're talking 40 years ago, I was making $128,000 a year plus bonus, and my bonus was four times what my pay was. But you had to go to Hamburger College, and you had to do all kind of stupid shit. And I stayed with them for 4 or 5 years. It was a great job, but how can I say this politely? The family who owned part of the chain I was with, because it was a big company, but they owned about 10 or 12 stores, were very, very, very religious in a kind of religion that I personally couldn't be involved in. I don't know how else to say it. It's they had adopted 14 kids, and they were great people. They really were, but the personal religion they believed in, I had issues with. That's all I can say about it. I can't say anything. I don't talk about religious people. Y'all should know that by now. I don't like. Oh, see, there's Dr. Poops.
Ooh, I like that.
I did that for
the Daleks. There's no Daleks in there, are there? I don't
No,
see
there's
one.
not. Good catch. They told me part of my art direction is that I was not allowed to put Daleks in because of copyright issues
Yeah.
between BBC America and BBC London or something.
Yes, that
Shame
makes
on them.
absolute sense. Greedy
Yeah.
bastards.
That's a tattoo sleeve design, and somewhere on there should be a picture of Matt Smith wearing
Is
it.
that upside down thing? Is that one of the angels? I can't tell. I don't have my
Yeah,
glasses.
it's designed as
Yeah,
a tattoo
it is.
sleeve. Can you get to the part where it shows?
Yeah, we
Look at my glasses. I'm just going to show all my.
Wait, what the hell?
Camera
I
lights,
just.
but-
What did I stumble into here?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
that's
good
the
Lord.
tarot deck for Shadowrun.
Oh, okay. See,
Did you say Shadowrun?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Yes.
do a lot of work for the role playing game Shadowrun.
Oh, cool.
The hell I just
Yeah.
I'm
it's
a huge board game gamer, and so there. I think we
Well,
lost
that's
you, but there was a
good.
game up called Pico that you did some artwork.
Yep,
Is
Pico.
did.
is that still available? Because I'm gonna have to get that and
Yeah.
try that out.
Yeah, I have. And if you can't find it, I have it at my gallery, so I can always ship you one.
Okay,
So-
All
cool.
right. Somehow I got lost or wherever the hell I was at.
Where were you?
I don't know. I don't even know how I got to back where I was. Apparently, fat fingers got just moved around.
Where are you?
here.
What are you looking for here? Hold on.
I was just
Stop
going
moving
along.
around so fast.
I was just continuing from wherever we were. See, I told you I
Alright.
was the boss.
Go to by industry. See where it says illustration portfolio. If you go by industry, down,
Okay,
down,
very good. Oh, right
down,
here. Yes.
right there. That should bring you gaming. Should be able to go to go to
Let's do-
games or publishing.
Oh, there.
That should get you back to a lot of the Shadowrun stuff.
Oh, wait. Now where I go over here?
Where are you?
Apparently, I didn't click it. I know.
I don't
we
think
were
you
just-
clicked it.
What the bleep is going on here?
Stop breaking my website, will you?
People, her website works really good. I don't. Joe's just having issues tonight.
Yeah,
working
Joe's just
fingers.
breaking it. Go to
Joe-
features. Try to put it
Is there a Mercury retrograde or something going on?
It just keeps taking me to the same place for some reason. Stop that site. We were somewhere else
You broke it.
Yeah.
because we were
You broke
down
the
here.
internet.
We were down here a few minutes ago looking at this picture. Oh wait,
Yep.
and then
And then you
somehow
went right.
Chocolate.
Doctor
here we
Who,
go.
and then you went over to. You ended up in Shadowrun. There you go.
Yeah,
That's a card deck.
all right, okay. Somehow we doing this differently because it's a different color site now. So I'm not sure what's going on, people. Don't ask me, people. Sometimes shit just happens. It's the internet.
Anyway,
See,
I've done a lot of work for
What the hell?
Shadowrun. We used to play in
Okay.
college.
I was gonna say because
And,
I'm not as big a geek as y'all. So what the hell is Shadowrun?
It's
a
a
CCG.
role-playing game.
Isn't
Oh,
it?
okay.
No,
Isn't
it's a tabletop role-playing game. There's
Oh, it's not a
also-
CCG. Okay, good.
No, there's also a there's a video game versions of it, but the tabletop is the
So it's
is
a
the
weird
oldest version. That's
of
been around
Dungeons and
since
Dragons, is that what it is?
91, 92.
Okay.
So
I was in college in SCAD at that time.
Okay, I want
When did
this
you
card
graduate?
deck.
96.
oh, I graduated in 95,
Cool.
94,
You youngsters.
95.
I want this card deck. I could use this as a tarot deck.
No, that's an actual deck. Is the ace
I can
and
still,
the club
well,
and
I
the
can, you know,
spade.
I can do
Oh
52.
no, there's no
54
spades,
cards.
but I'll bet you it's a full deck if you really look
It
at
is this full deck. I did the
Yeah.
whole deck. That's just some of the cards.
So can you just dial up these and have them published? Now what the hell am I looking at here?
Oh, I got hired to do this one. This was I got hired by them to do for the Fate TV show and Netflix and all that. A lot of the pieces I get hired, they'll call me up and they say, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'm sure. Okay.
What is that? What is that A symbol at the top? Is that? It looks like a Novo. So we used to do Star
It's
Trek.
part of
costumes.
the. It was like a TV show, so it's part of the. It's the part of the symbol for the school for the TV show.
I remember
Okay.
the TV show. I don't think I ever watched it, but I do
I
remember
haven't either.
Yeah, it was a cartoon, and then they made the TV like live version of it, and I think there was a second season on Netflix, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure if there was.
You mean, I don't know what's inside of it, Jeremy. What are you talking about?
Cards.
Is it, yeah, the card game. CCG.
Yeah, it's
He's
just
on, he's
it's
on
just
better
cards.
drugs than I'm on, apparently. Damn.
There's the
okay.
box design, and
So this is the back of the box or the front of the box? This is
That's
that's
the
the
box
box, like,
unfolded
laid
and not box. It's like as you would print it out on the card stock first.
yeah, before you fold it,
Right.
like there's the front, there's the back, and then the sides of it.
Pre-fold, no glue.
It's cool looking. I like the way. So I'd had that on the wall somewhere.
So you must have had some graphic design work in
Okay,
college
so-
as well, not just illustration work.
At
Yeah.
Pratt, you go foundation year, and then the second year, if you're majoring in illustration or graphic design, you take you narrow it down to communication design, where they teach you graphic design and typography and things, and then you narrow it down further to illustration. So I really liked their curriculum there for that reason.
Yeah, SCAD had a really good curriculum as well. We had a core foundation as well. But I went for video production, and they wanted me to take drawing 1, drawing 2, drawing 3, and life drawing, where you actually draw like live nude models. And I failed it miserably like twice. I took the class twice. That's how horrible I am. I'm terrible at drawing. I mean, I can draw stick figures for my storyboards, but who cares? The vision of the movie's in my head, not on paper. But they wanted me to take it a third time, and if I failed it, I would be put on special secret probation or whatever.
Wow.
So my dad came down to the school. We went and talked to the registrar or somebody, and he said, "Was there no way we can substitute another class? Because he's telling you it's not something he can do, and it isn't." And so we argued, and finally he's like, "Well, look, if you can't figure out another class to substitute for life drawing, we'll just have to find him another school." And all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, wait a minute. We have a new program. We have a mechanical drawing class, which is as hard as life drawing. He can take that." And guess what? I did mechanical drawing all through high school. Nailed it with
Easy
a B+
peasy, right?
most of the way through.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got lucky with that one. I mean, I literally couldn't draw a hole in a bag to save my life.
Well, that's because you're
But
a
I
life
can
drawing.
find my way out of
supposed
it.
to be drawing a hole in the bag.
Yeah.
I can't draw anything, so I don't even.
The joke is, Joe, that if you have a pencil, you can poke a hole in the bag, So.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's what we got going on here?
That looks like a dragon.
It is a dragon. That's for.
And what kind of coffee is this thing drinking?
They used it for coffee brand. It's really good coffee, actually.
Oh, really?
Some of that in the gallery.
Bahamut's brew. The evil dragon.
And they're actually using it for some like dice sets. So.
Oh, cool! Like
really
D&D
cool
sets,
here.
like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's Dragon Lair Comics. They're down in
I gotta
Austin,
show you
Texas.
something. You're gonna think I'm weird, but hang on a second. It's even here in this room.
We already know he's weird, so don't worry about that part.
Yeah, it's probably too late.
I'm just saying, we already know you're weird.
So
this one, they wanted something specific.
I don't know if you can see it through the little window, but in this blue and gray tackle box is my dice collection.
I cannot see it.
Well, I'll try it again.
Can I see it? I think that I'm not.
Let me see.
Oh, there you go. I see it. Oh, wow.
All kinds of dice. I got dice for making pizza. Like if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons or Shadowrun and no one can agree, oh, I want cheese, I want pepperoni, I want this. You just roll 2 dice. And if it comes up pineapple and anchovies, that's what everybody's getting.
Well, that's the dice the lady gave me, the author gave me. So she gives you a dice and a little thing and some sheets. So when you roll the dice, so you start at the first piece, you roll the dice, whatever it happens to be, then you choose from one of those, that's your character, and then you keep going down to listen till you get your story. She said, give it a try, Joe. I was like, really? She said, yeah, here, take it home with you. I was like, no, I don't think so. She said, come on, take it home with you. I said, all right, I'll give it a try. I've given it, works for me. I mean, I'm not an author by any means, but it works. Jackie, no, I'm not an author. I'm not an illustrator or an author. I like hanging out with them. They're great people. Some are greater than others, but still, the whole judging staff is fabulous. They've all done all of this. Whether they're an author, whether they're an illustrator, they really know their stuff. They wouldn't be there if they didn't. And I say this all the time, and I say this when I'm there. You're a fool if you don't take advantage of the work. I mean, of the people, because really, you're not going to get this anywhere else.
Yeah, if you're an up-and-coming illustrator or artist of any kind, it's like Joe said. We've been saying it in the few shows we do on this is if you're a writer or whatever, submit. The worst they're going to say to you is no. Yeah, didn't qualify this time.
I wish I knew about it in college. I really do. I didn't know that existed.
What's that?
The contest.
Yeah, I know, huh? Well,
I didn't even know about it, and I wish I did. Which is weird because I was really good at looking up opportunities for different contests and things. So I'm not sure how I missed it.
My mom was an author. She's got 3 or 4 books that were published. One Civil War romance and 2 or 3 detective stories. But She has some friends. One of her friends is Nora Roberts, who owns this city not far from here.
Mhm.
And so I got a couple of books from her. She sent me some Margaret Wise stuff, the new Dragon World kind of things.
Oh yeah.
One or two of the first one or two years of the L. Ron Hubbard thing, the anthology she sent me. So unfortunately, most of my book collection did not survive the move from Maryland to Pennsylvania, but I had seen the books way back then.
Wow. One of my friends just bought a $350,000 Ming Dynasty. Damn. Must be nice, all I can say.
What are you talking about?
Oh, a friend of mine just sent me a thing while we were talking. They were at a gala auction, and they bought a Qin Qing Dynasty. I forgot what they call it. It's like a vase. $350K.
Oh wow.
Typically, they're called ding or vessels.
Yeah, I think that's what's actually on the thing. And must be nice. All I can tell you, Cal, we keep her a couple more minutes, but we had her here a long time. You know, she got a husband and children, and yeah.
Hey, I'm drawing in these books right now. I have to draw like I don't know 50 of them or something to send out to people.
Oh, there you go. The Archangel Michael, or Archangel Michael. I call him Archangel Michael. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. He's no longer on the radio network. Isn't that right?
No.
Oh, that's sorry. That's Michael Langley.
So wait, is this a book or is this card? Oh,
that's
cards.
Sorry. That's a set of oracle cards.
It's an oracle deck. Yeah.
Yes. It took me a minute. I'm in love with this. A lot of times I'm
just hired to do things, various projects that they'll say, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I'm, "Oh, okay, sure. That sounds like fun." So that's what I like about illustration is it's.
All I know is for Christmas I want to be hanging out with Peppermint here.
All right, we're gonna have to get that to you so you can put her behind you for Christmas.
I know. We're gonna call it. We're gonna have to call Little Miss Peppermint. Oh wait, what we got? Oh wait, this is a pomegranate. What the hell's going on over here? Wait, what I got?
Pomegranate. You're missing the whole blue and teal snake. Right?
That's for a greeting card design I was hired to do.
It's again, what kind of greeting card was this? Let me kill you.
Okay, Joe. Here's the symbolism. It's the snake from the Garden of Eden handing a pomegranate to Eve. Right?
Yeah.
What you're saying is you're being bad, is what you're saying.
Art school paid off in the end.
There you go.
All right. See, what do I know? Oh, you know what I seen the other day?
Oh, wow.
A flaming red peacock. I have never seen one of them before.
No, is that a rogue? Is it
real life? Is it just beautiful? I've just never seen one before.
What is that? Is that also like a tarot type deck?
That's a card game by Calliope Games.
Really?
That was a lot of fun to do because you have to make it's like when you put down the cards, you have to match by the color or the number on them. But I had to specifically make it so that it can be played even by colorblind people because if I make all the plumes similar, if you're colorblind, not everyone sees things the same. Yeah. So we had to run through all these
go by shape rather than the color.
Yeah. So they have shapes inside of them and the colors. So.
Oh. Asian carp.
Yeah, they do that for Wajimaya, which is they have a couple grocery stores up here. They're an Asian, large Asian supermarket. Really, really, really good. And
I see they got sushi all over the place.
Oh yeah, those are my flying sushi kites.
So
for a reusable bag.
Well, that's cool.
No, we're back to this one.
Okay, now wait.
That's the
front and the back.
Okay, so that's a window. I thought it was a mandala behind her.
Did I already put that down?
Window.
It's
It's an Art Nouveau window, and then in the back there's I forgot what my reasoning behind that was. It's got a window with another sculpture back there.
Yeah.
And then the little egg sculptures on the spine.
Well, this is the cover of 36.
36.
It's 36. Well, people, go over to galaxypress.com, buy 36, and you can see it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But that lithograph, people can get off your website as well for just the lithograph if they want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You can get that off of echochernik.com, and I'll sign them. I sign all of them.
Yes. Cool. Uh-oh, winged woman. Is this gonna? Whoa, hey, winged baby.
Oh, this is the one. This is up for like a contest or something. I saw something about that on Google.
There is. It was that's part of my Kickstarter series.
Oh, that's
the
what it
first
was.
one.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm about
Okay.
due to do another one of those. People have been asking me, "Hey, when are you going to do the next Winged Women?" I'm like, I gotta do that. So there'll be one coming shortly.
It's a great picture. And again, there's a ton of stuff going on all throughout the picture. It's not just stuff. There's also a ton of colors just dropped in here, dropped in
Colors
there.
are fun.
I think I
It's
know
one of
where
the things
she's
I like
standing
about your
too.
artwork. I realized the first time we ever did an interview was one of the first things I really liked about you. You just got a fabulous use of colors. And you just do. I mean, a lot of artists are great artists, but they don't always have the best use of colors. And no, Jack, Tom Wood did that cover. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, he did that cover. She did the cover on 36.
36 and 37.
Yeah,
Well,
and
the
37.
girl
Yeah.
with the gold wings.
Yes, she did the one I keep calling the Green Lantern's girlfriend. Yes, because she kind of looks like the Green Lantern. She got a knack for painting hot women. Is all I got to say.
Hey, they're not going to paint themselves. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, she just, model or no model, she really just captures the body, the face. It's hard to get show. I watch a lot of artists, man, and certain things are harder to do than other things. Yeah.
Well, yeah, drawing and painting the human form is really tough. It's not something. I mean, you really got to study anatomy, like the bone structure underneath, the muscle structure above that, and then the skin. So,
but
it's not easy.
But I hate doing perspective and cars.
So now, perspective, I'm actually pretty good at. That's something I learned with mechanical drawing. But
yeah, well, I took a drafting class. I mean, I know it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, because you got to pick one point and draw out from there, and it's.
No, you don't. You can just become an Art Nouveau artist and throw, flowers on everything, and then
there you go.
the perspective, and you're good.
It's art. You can do
Put
whatever
some damn flowers on it.
That's the game I was talking about. Yeah, I want to check that out. That it looks. Oh, there's a sai. Are there nunchaku in there?
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you look at all the pieces, I had to design or redesign each of these tokens, and the way when you play the game, they have different attacks or different shielding based on which direction it's facing or what the weapon is. If you look at the swords, they have like attack all the way around, so you can see that there's arrows all the way around it. And then the winds have like attacks in the four corners, and then you can see there's the lower ones with like the lotus flower. It's got dots. That means they're like shields.
So is that the volcano meaning? Oh shit!
The arrow on the side pointing only one direction. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that indicates which areas you can attack in. So, and I had to develop all that when I was, redesigning the game. I don't think they had them on the original one. So
that's cool. Yeah,
that's patient.
Yeah, I like how it came out. It was really fun, and the tease. So I love the tease.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been doing the gut covers for that? Because the artwork that we saw with all the different tees on it, I'm like, I recognize some of that stuff.
Oh yeah, that was almost 20 years ago now, I guess. But I just did a couple more of them that hopefully should be out soon. So they're still using them, which is great.
Yeah, well, they work great. Why change that? It's always been one of my biggest bitches. Why fix something that ain't broke?
Right. And it was shocking because I'm like looking at these things. I'm like, I recognize that stuff, and then that's what's been on their boxes for years. I didn't realize 20 years, but wow.
Yeah, it was about 20. It was about 20 years ago. So.
See, when I seen these cuisine ones, I thought they were damn tarot cards when I first looked at them. I didn't notice it was different until I looked down here and it said tea and coffee and cheese.
Yeah,
I did those for a market.
Seafood.
I did this for a market in Atlanta, and he hired me to do sexy versions and not sexy versions. So those are the not sexy versions.
Well, he wanted his private version.
He does. He had his private version. That's okay. I do that a lot, actually. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me. And yeah, my private version.
It's usually even the dragon one you saw before. There's a nude and a not nude, because it depends where you're putting it.
Okay, this guy looks like he's
had too much date. One that cannot.
Man,
false stuff. All right, so false stuff
here.
Yeah, false stuff's an opera, and when I get hired to do an opera post, I usually rent it so I can watch it. And what they always describe about this guy is he's just bigger than life. I mean, he's obnoxiously large and big and doesn't stop talking and tells huge tales and gluttonous, and it's all about how he's having affairs with multiple women and how they get their comeuppance and stuff. But I wanted to show him really like just too big to fit even in the poster. He's like so big it didn't even fit in there. So,
It's well, when I seen it, because I instantly thought they got a Falstaff beer down here, and when I see, what the hell is this one?
that's a different opera. It's a ball, the impresario, and just little steampunk birds for those. That was fun.
Yeah, that looks kind of cool.
I like
Man,
the
I had to go to
birds.
a lot of operas when I was young.
Hansel and Gretel.
I hired some neighborhood kids to pose for that.
They must have loved that.
Yeah. So I got their
Are we
mom's
done
permission and
yet?
paid them in candy, and we're all good. So
That works. Let's see what we got here.
it's another opera poster. They all have different styles because they're all
Ira
different operas.
Bernstein or Irving Bernstein?
I don't remember.
Which Bernstein is it? It's one of them. Has to be.
I don't know.
We went when I was in private school. We went to a lot of operas, a lot of ballets. But you know what? They took us to a lot of rock concerts too.
Well, that's cool.
They really mixed up. Well, they wanted us to have well-rounded education and stuff. And then we had to go to, of course, all the famous ballets. I was like, please just shoot me. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Some of them I actually
really enjoy the ballet either.
Yeah,
but
some of them there was one or two that I liked. Most of them I was like, no. The operas were different because some of the music I could identify with, or that's a wrong word, I could feel. So for me, it's important to feel the music. I don't necessarily need the words like a lot of people do. I just need more of the feeling of the music. And as long as I can feel it, I'm fine with it. So, and there's a lot of classical stuff in my house. And then, a lot of the great works are sitting right there behind me for reading. If anybody, I'll tell you what, some of that is some seriously heavy reading. Some of it, it's all the great philosophers and all the stories that went with them are back there.
Oh, cool.
It's man, a lot of it's just a lot of fun to read, and a lot of it gives you a understanding of how the world was then, which, by the way, wasn't much different than it is today, which is amazing to me. To be honest, well, Christina, to be honest, the real difference is the technologies. The attitudes ain't much different. We're trying. Don't get me wrong, we're trying, but still,
there's this
we got a long ways to go. That's all I can say.
Yeah, there's this. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I don't remember it. It was a list, like a letter complaining about how kids aren't the same as they used to be years ago. They don't disrespect their grown-ups. They're loud, obnoxious, and all these complaints, and politicians, blah blah blah. And it turns out it was a quote from Socrates' time. It's it's no different.
Well, look, somebody was telling me that day about their kids. I said, you know what? My grandpa used to say the exact damn thing you're saying about your kids right now. I said the only real difference is the Z Genders are going to be the first generation to grow up on social media. So we don't know what the outcome of that's going to be yet. I said, but even the X Genders and the millennials had to get their asses outside and go play sometimes. I said the X Genders basically lived outside. I said, but even the millennials had to get out of their house and go do stuff. I said, but the Z is going to be the first generation that truly was raised on computers and social media. I said, so we'll see. I said, but even they went outside.
I think it's hard. It's been a little harmful to them too, having two of them myself. They struggle with so much negativity coming
because there's so much of it. It's all and I don't understand that. So when we do the news, we've always had a rule in this network. Regardless how nasty the news gets, we always want to end the show with a positive story. Mm-hmm. And that way, you've been listening to this crap all night, and then all of a sudden you hear this really good story. It kind of washes a lot of it away because there is a lot of that, and we're so divided. And it's not just that we're divided in the country; we're divided all over the planet. Yeah. And if you're 19 or 17 or 15, all the way up to about 30, it's hard to deal, especially if you've grown up with this crap nonstop. The world's coming to the end.
Oh, no, I remember when I was a kid, and you probably remember this too. You'd get there'd be news, there'd be a plane crash, and it was a big deal because there was a plane crash. I mean, and that was the big bad news of the week. And then now it's just that and 40 million other things.
Yeah, now it's all day long.
It's all day long.
And I don't in the media you would figure we as a country we need to kind of slow that down and put a stop to a lot of that. But and we're so polarized right now. It's a fight about everything. Stuff that we even should. I mean, I can understand fighting for some things. I really can because sometimes one side's right and one side's wrong. But a lot of the stuff we fight about is simple shit that we shouldn't be fighting about.
Yeah, my God's better than your God. My country's better than your country. You know,
This is supposed to be a
some reason-
country for everyone's freedom and everyone's rights, and lately it just doesn't seem like that's what it is. But it'll focus back. You know, everybody forgets that the year of the year that the towers got down, we were in the same position we are today. We were very polarized. People were even talking about there was going to be a revolution in the country, and all of a sudden the twin towers come down, and oh shit,
all of a sudden,
we best friends, we love each other, and we're going to kick somebody's ass. So we're dangerous in the fact that you never know what's going to unite us.
Yeah.
It's best to let us fight with each other because the rest of the world's safer that way. But still, it has to stop. I mean, I got grandkids and great grandkids coming. I don't want to see this shit for them.
Yeah, well, it's at the very same time. Not too long ago, we had during the very same time as that these events happened, we're seeing Al Qaeda 10, 15 years, 20 years ago, whatever it was. We're seeing Al Qaeda, physically beheading people on the news, and then Janet Jackson has a wardrobe malfunction on the Super Bowl, and everyone just like blew up about that.
Oh my God.
They didn't say a
I remember
thing about the news showing people getting killed in Iraq with a sword or a big knife. But here's this woman's boob fell out of her shirt. Who cares? I'd much rather see that than some guy get his head lopped off.
Oh yeah,
We go off about the wrong subject all the time.
It's just we will somewhere along the line somebody will get it straightened out. I hope, but
Hopefully,
we just need a leader. We haven't had. Let's see, we've had a couple leaders that united the country. For some reason, Reagan was well loved,
the
and
Clintons
Clinton
and the
was loved.
Bushes and the
Baby Bush was only loved because somebody blew up the Twin Towers, and we were. But
Yeah.
Clinton and Reagan were both bipartisan presidents that worked good with the country and made differences.
They made
Reagan
the
did a lot of stuff to get
economy
our country back to where it needed to be as far as strength and economy go, and Clinton came right in and balanced everything out, and we just don't see that shit anymore. Now we see like, oh yeah, let's see if we can kill somebody. I don't understand it. And honestly, Jassy, no, you're right. The last 2 years of Obama, we talked about bathrooms, and it seems like the last 2 years of Biden, we're going to talk about bathrooms. When the whole world's going to shit in a handbag, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
I'll never understand that. It's not that I don't personally care what bathroom you use. I don't personally care what sex you are. I'm from New Orleans, people. It's not a big deal to me. I don't care what color you are or what your sexual preferences is. I was raised down here. It's not a big deal to us. We're like, whatever you feel like you're cool with, we're cool with. That's cool. What do you mean? No, we're not going to talk about that. But I know we'll get into the DeSantis stuff and the Florida stuff. And what was really done and what wasn't really done. We'll do that later. Well, we've had this poor woman for 2 hours. She's only supposed to be with us for an hour. I love torturing that girl.
I know, but you're so much fun to hang out with.
Oh, I love having you with me. You can stay as long as you want.
Here for an hour.
Yes, I always tell you, always welcome to stay as long as you want. What do you mean? Is that stained glass? Oh, is that stained glass? You mean the picture in front of me?
It could be turned into a stained glass, but that's a digital lithograph, I think.
Yeah, what they hired me to do for that one, that was for a calendar, actually, for the Roby House. And they wanted me to create a stained glass window that looks like it would be in the Roby House, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
Cool.
And so what I actually had to do is I had to take part of the stained glass window, which is like the left and right panels, and then create the entire center panel in the same style.
Oh, wow.
It's just a prairie style. So,
did they actually make it into glass?
Nope. That's digital. So that one's in Adobe Illustrator.
Well, I happen to know a guy. He was a roommate of mine in college. He owns Aurora Stained Glass in Savannah. And a few years ago when we had a slight earthquake on this side of the planet, the National Cathedral their glass was damaged.
Oh no!
So they called him up to come repair it. So if you want to turn it into stained glass, I can hook you up with a good guy.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
because that would make a really good stained glass window.
He does really amazing and meticulous work.
I'm telling you, this looks just like my girlfriend used to have.
All right, well, I'm gonna let you guys go talk to politics.
Yes,
right.
We're gonna go do that, guys. And girls, give them your websites one more time so they know where to find you.
Oh, echochernik.com or echo-x.com if you want to find the Patreon. It's /Excalibur Project. But you can also go on my Facebook or my Instagram. My Instagram is @echochernik, so that's pretty easy. You can just drop me a line.
I seen one picture there for like $1,900. Y'all should go buy that one. Hey, look, Really and truly, she's got some great work. Take a look around. Y'all got plenty of time. A lot of her stuff is on. Okay, that was weird. A lot of her stuff is on, and we've done a couple of shows with her, so we have a lot of her stuff spread out. But I would just go to our website and take your time, look through it. There's a lot of material there. We only crossed about a third of it tonight, so just go look around and see what you like. And look,
Yeah, or just Google Echo Art Nouveau or Echo Shadowrun or Echo Naked Ladies, and you'll end up with.
And for all of our radio show hosts and a lot of our friends who need. Well, I don't know how much she'd charge you for banner. You'd have to ask her on that. But
charge for what?
Somebody just asked me about getting their banners done. I said, I don't know what she'd charge. You'd have to ask. You'd have to be what you. I don't know what you want. You can want any damn thing.
Just send me a message.
It's yes, just message.
I'm not scary, regardless of what Rob tells you.
Yes, it's she's just great work. I mean, if you can get her to do a piece for you, I'm telling you, it'd be great work. Who makes our banners? Each host has somebody make their own banner. I don't get into that. Oh hell no! I do not want to get into what our hosts do for banners. That would start World War III. That's just no. Let them do what they want. I'm not real strict on stuff as long as it looks professionally done. I don't really care. Yes, it can be your mama upside down. It just doesn't matter to me. It's you're the one that's got to deal with it every week, not me. I'm just telling y'all. But Echo Baby, thanks for stopping by. You're always wonderful to talk
All
to.
right, I'll see you later. Bye.
And you be good. Give Lazarus a hug for me.
Okay, you guys be good too. Take care.
We'll try.
We're gonna have to put him on the sexy man beast list thing.
Bye, everyone.
Yes, that's we're good there. We're good there. That was Echo Chernik. Oh, Echo's a great woman. She's a lot of fun. She's a great judge. She's a great artist. You should go by and check out her stuff. Buy some of her stuff. She works hard. No, she works really hard. Lazarus does too. They both work really hard. Yes. No, Lazarus won one year. Not for his art. I think he won for an author. It was the year before last, if I remember right. Well, it depends. You can only really win once. Well, you can win as an author and an illustrator if that's what you're asking, yeah. And you might get a special mention or invited to come out because, yeah, it's not just the 12 people. Sometimes they pick other people for other things, honorable mentions, stuff like that. They do a lot of good stuff, that's all I can tell you. No, it's right there. Oh, because I took the other one down. That's why you can't see it right now. Yeah, it's but that one's right there. You can see it. There's one right here next to me. I was showing pictures earlier. Now, yeah, no, Echo is just a lot of fun. What are you saying? World news tonight? There's a lot of stuff going on. There's still shit going on in Ukraine. That Ukraine won't calm down. You got Trump being charged again. Randy Lou. That's an interesting name, Randy Lou. What do you mean? How do I feel about Trump getting charged? I feel it's just more bullshit, but you mean, does it affect the way I'm going to vote? No. No, it's not going to affect the way I'm going to vote. Well, we're going to vote for Trump anyway, so. So what you're asking me, if it's only Trump and Biden, who am I going to vote for? I didn't vote for either one last time, so I'm not anti-Trump and I'm not anti-Joe Biden. I just don't. I think they're both very divisive. It was like Obama; he was very divisive. Sometimes presidents are very divisive. Very divisive, and the last three have been very divisive. Who said Obama wasn't divisive? You better go back and look around. First, we had 3 years of BLM running around blowing shit up, just like we had 2 years with Trump. You know, it amazes me. These guys that rushed the Capitol building didn't even do no damage at all. And they tried to blame it death, and they found it had nothing to even do with them. So they didn't even cause any deaths, no rapes, no nothing else. One of them got 20 years. But people were running around destroying businesses, burning them to the ground, killing people, raping people, and none of them got in trouble. But yet when they got close to the people in Congress, then, oh, shit. Yeah, no, the people in Congress should be put in jail. I mean, that's hypocritical beyond belief. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Well, it's like they've had Joe Biden's laptop for 2.5 years. But yet somehow or another, in less than 4 months, they get a case against Trump and charge him with 37 things. But Joe Biden stuff can't get put out for nothing. And they have information on the president now, and still that's not being put out either. No, our country is extremely corrupt. The justice system in our country is ridiculous. Well, not all the justice system, but a big chunk of it is. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. Sometimes I get worried about our countries moving to a communist type country. Right now, we're borderline communist. The way the Democrats have been doing things, we're borderline communists. They've completely politicalized the FBI and the DOJ. There's no doubt about it. And the New York guy's doing favor, and he even got caught talking to one of his friends about he was doing him a favor. Because Biden can't beat Trump. That's the problem. What's all of this is about. Biden can't beat Trump. But Biden can't beat DeSantis either. I don't think Biden will be able to pull. Look, Trump pulled 46% of New York in the last election. He made inroads into places he's never had inroads and still lost. I know. I mean, when you look at the actual division of each state, it's very, very iffy. Yeah, it was cheating or not. See, it doesn't matter to me. I don't get into the cheating stuff because even if they were cheating, Trump had been saying for a year they were going to cheat. He should have been ready for it. So I don't even put it on the Democrats, even if they were cheating, which I don't know if they were or they weren't. Well, there was some stuff that definitely seemed like some cheating going on, but not to the extent of millions of votes. Maybe a few 100,000, maybe a few thousand, but I don't know. I wasn't there. There was some questionable stuff that went on in Pittsburgh. There was some questionable stuff that went on in a couple other states, but Trump should have been there to take care of it. He should have made sure it got taken care of, but he didn't. So it's on him. They know nobody but him.
He counted on the Constitution and the laws of government to save him, but it didn't.
No, because the government's corrupt.
Yeah.
It's well, no, we need to change our government or we're going to have problems. I don't think, I know my liberal friends don't understand this, but there's issues going on right now. The Democrats want to become communists or socialists because they want the power. This has never been about them helping. Because let me ask you this. If you're black or you're Hispanic, I want you to write to me right now or call in or whatever you want to do and tell me what the Democrats have done for you in the last 30 years. I want to know. They haven't helped you on the borders. That's Texas and Florida been doing that.
Pick a historical event that they helped anybody of an ethnic background other than white.
Yeah. I mean, unemployment when the Democrats are – so Democrat cities, unemployment's always historically high and violence is always historically high.
Violence. And
it's black cities. They're usually anywhere from 30 to 50 to 60% of the population. And why can red cities have very little violence at all and have great economy and blue cities can't? And that's where the blacks live most. Oh, no, you don't believe me? Okay. New Orleans is a blue city. It's 60% black. Atlanta is a blue city. It's 55% black. New York's a blue city. Chicago's a blue city. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, D.C., Baltimore. These are all blue cities.
Most of the big cities in Maryland.
L.A., San Francisco. These are all blue cities, and they are all pieces of shit. And nobody wants to live there. People are leaving. 2 million people left New York, and almost 2 million people have left California, and that's not stopping.
It hasn't stopped.
People want out. It's bleeding, and you know what? They're not moving to the South and voting blue. They're moving to the South and voting red. That's not a good thing.
It's another thing the audience can do. They can do the research themselves to see what I saw when we did the last voting show. Just go to Google Maps, election results 2023, 2022. Look at the maps. Look at the governor map. Look at the senator map. Look at the representatives maps. Then don't just look at the map. Click on the state. It'll zoom you into the state and show you the cities. I mean, not the cities, the counties, and then the major cities. Look at how many counties in each state are red and how few little blue specks around the big cities overwhelm the states. Particularly Pennsylvania is a big state, not highly populated, but it's a large state. I think we have 72 counties. 5 or 6 or 7 of them voted blue and put Biden in the office. 5 or 6 out of 70-some counties overtook the results away from Republican voters. That's a big message, people.
It is, too. It's the government who approves, let's see, Ooh, man. Look at Biden versus Kennedy, 67-17. Trump versus DeSantis. Trump's still beating DeSantis. Trump's beating DeSantis. Trump's beating DeSantis. Trump's beating DeSantis. DeSantis has a more, no, Trump's got a more favorable rating too. I don't know how that can even be possible, but all these polls show it. So let's go up here and see where is, let's see, Rasmussen. Okay, it doesn't say who it approves of though. Oh, the government, they're saying that 43% of the people in America approve of the government. That, I don't know what poll that is, but that's a bullshit poll going on there. So opinion diagnostics, they're a Democratic place. They've got DeSantis +5, Trump +3. That's as of today. So that's what Trump being indicted. He's still beating Biden. So
they're helping his campaign. They're putting his name in the front of the news.
This is how he won the first time.
Everywhere you go.
So currently, Trump is 50-35. Trump's 16 on DeSantis, 22 on DeSantis, 15 DeSantis. He's 3 on DeSantis. I mean, and this over here tries to say Joe Biden's approval rating is in the 40% range.
Yeah, in his own mind.
Yeah, I don't know who these polls are coming from, but that's just absolute garbage. Last time I checked, it was 36%.
What's the plus or minus error on that? Is it plus or minus 36? Because then that would be probably more accurate.
I know. It's ridiculous. I don't, sometimes I just wonder what's going on with all of this stuff. It's, let me see if I can do this right quick. And I'm going to take a picture of myself. I guess I do it in a different way. Okay, let's do that.
Why is your phone sparking?
I know it's making thingies. No, guys, I mean, it's just sad that even the Democrat polls have Trump winning.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to change. I hate to say, but I think the indictments are going to make it worse. Oh, yeah, the Democrats won't vote for him, but I think the independents.
I don't know. I mean, how many Democrats do we have in the audience? Would you vote for Trump right now, but based on his popularity in polls?
Well, they went around asking independents today, will this change your vote on Trump? And they said no. And a lot of independents said they thought this was the Democrats using the DOJ. So a lot of the country thinks that they're abusing power.
It's a political attack.
Yeah.
It's all what it is. Actually, that's what we said when it first came out. It's a political attack. They've militarized the FBI and the Department of Justice.
So now they're trying to say, wait, what poll is this? PBSO, 49% of people approve Joe Biden's job. 42% disapprove. And of course, with Trump, it's only 40% approve. Or I'm sorry, 38% approve. Oh, man. So I don't know where they're getting these polls at, but only 24% of people want to even vote for Joe Biden, but somehow he's got this outrageous approval rating here. This is PBS. PBS, you lie. That's just sad that you're actually lying. And plus, I challenge, we have, our own American polling company, so I challenge all polls. I tell people it's not at least 10,000 people, it's not even a real poll. I've put the New York Times to shame. I've put NBC, ABC to shame, because we'll do a 10,000 person poll and then I'll send it to them and say, well, your 100-person poll shows this, but the big poll shows this. And a lot of times they'll post it. It pisses them off, but they'll still post it. You mean Pence? Pence ain't winning shit.
He's not going to make it.
He pissed off the Trumper people today. He's never getting anywhere.
Well, I think he alienated the entire Republican Party.
So, and NBC New York Times, Trump support remains unmoved by investigation polls find. It's not affected him. It's not going to either. And when all that Russia stuff was going on, it was just making him more popular. And the bad part is we all know we had 3 years of Russia, and it turned out to be absolute bullshit. Everything that was said about the Russia thing turned out to be bullshit.
It was another political attack.
And we even found out We even found out the FBI lied and mishandled all kind of stuff, and that Hillary Clinton lied. And for some reason, she's never gotten in trouble for these 33,000 emails.
Never indicted, never arrested.
But yeah, Trump's in trouble for this. I mean, there's no difference. And then I can't believe Biden's in trouble. They say, oh, well, Biden didn't just say anything. Really? Biden took on classified information and set it next to his car. First off, why did he do that? He did that so his son Hunter could go in there and take pictures of it. And if anybody said anything, oh, well, it was sitting next to my car.
So he left it on the ground?
It was just, and wait, and this is what's so weird about this. This is from when he was a vice president. So how long had this thing been sitting there? I mean, anybody named Mama could have been taking pictures and selling as a Chinese, and we're pretty sure that's what Hunter Biden was doing. I think he left classified material in places that his son had access to, and he was selling them to the Chinese. I have no doubt that if you put Joe Biden under voice test, he's going to fail. Not even a little bit doubt that he's going to fail. You mean, Jackson, it all depends on the polls, but all the polls last week had Trump far ahead of Biden. Even the liberal polls had him ahead of Biden. So they're going to try this week to change that because, Trump's been indicted. Oh, they're going to try to say this changed things, but it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change the independents or the Republicans. So I don't know, dudes. That's not going to change either one, though. It didn't change it. It's just not. Well, because too many Americans feel like this is a political attack. Yeah, too many Americans feel like this is a political attack. Yeah. They haven't even looked. They won't even go look at Obama's place because one of the members of the FBI said there's no doubt that there's classified material at his house, too. Yeah, they got him on tape saying it was a hot tape. They caught him saying it. Yeah. Yeah, they won't go look. They're pretty sure they said they'd look at every president and they would find stuff that didn't belong there. So let's see. Right now, Trump's defeating DeSantis by double digits. And I just seen the thing about Biden. So he only lost by 4 points in the last election. So what we got here? They're thinking Trump can beat. See, this one says Biden's disapproval rating is 56%. That's a Quinnipiac University
That
poll.
sounds a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, and so that's 44, and I guarantee you that's not 44. It's probably more like 38 because not all them people are going to be decided. So, we're going to see what goes on. But you'll notice something no matter what on these polls. This is how you know polls are bullshit. If you go to NBC, ABC, CBS, those are all always going to have favor Biden, even if it's only by a point because they have to lie. And it's the same thing with any of the Republican sites. They're going to always favor Trump. But when you go to polls like ours, we don't favor anybody. We don't care. We just want to know what the real poll is, and you get real polling that way. And our polls have been right for for a decade now.
Well, the other thing that you got to do is when they show up a poll, whether it's Republican biased or Democrat biased, add up the percents. And if they don't add up, if it adds up to 110%, something's off. And then you also got to look at the error percentages. There's always at the bottom of every poll, plus or minus X percent. So if like say Biden and Trump were 5 points away and the error is plus or minus 5, then they're probably tied. But if it's 15, 20%, then somebody's winning. But again, I've seen polls where you add up the percentage, like you got Trump, you got Biden, and you're adding up to 101, 102, 105%. That doesn't hash out, even with the error percentage marks.
Yeah, no, let's see. This is where is this? Okay, this one has Biden's approval rating at 40%, which means it's about 36%.
Still on it.
Yeah, we got it for another 26 minutes. And 52% here disapprove. And then when was this? This is June 9th. This is last day. 54%, 40% approve. So, and you can see it just tanks down and keeps going down. He's. I don't. You mean Jessica? I don't think you can beat Trump, even with all this shit on Trump. But depending on, you can't really run if you're a felon for president, especially if you're a felon due to security issues that disqualifies you. So that's what this is all about. This isn't about putting Trump in jail or anything else. This is about disqualifying him from the election, because I don't think they can put Trump in jail. How do you put him in jail? He has to have, because even if you find him guilty, he's still a president, which means he still has to have a security force. So what you're telling me is he's going to be in jail surrounded by Secret Service.
Or he'll be in Club Fed somewhere in like the Bahamas.
Still, he'll have to have Secret Service.
Yeah, he'll still be protected. Yeah, but he won't be in like a,
Oh, he won't be in a real jail.
Criminal prison environment.
He won't be in a real jail, but he'll still have to have his security around him. And so I don't know how you're going to work that out. You're going to have 10, 12 SS guys running around all the time, keeping him away from the rest of the prisoners.
Yeah, it's just not going to work out.
It's I'm sorry, people, but that's just, so I don't even know how that's going to do. Let's see, what do we got here? 55% disapprove, 43% disapprove. It's a 12-point. Could go either way. So that what they're trying to
error margin.
So what they're trying to tell you is his approval rate's around 31%. They don't want to hurt your feelings. So here is Biden versus DeSantis. DeSantis is plus 5 points. Biden versus Trump. Trump's 0.3 points. So even with Trump being a criminal, he's still beating out Biden, and that is what is that? That's Opinion Diagnostic. That's Presidential General Election Poll, North Carolina. This is Super PAC Hardworking Americans. Biden at 41%, Trump at 42%. Trump's up 1%. It doesn't matter where you go, Trump is beating Biden. So they need this to happen. This is what this whole thing is about. Is keeping. They think somehow or another they think Biden can beat DeSantis, even though the numbers say he can't. They're thinking he can beat DeSantis. So let's talk about DeSantis a little bit. I hear these things about DeSantis. Oh, he hates black people. Really? I haven't seen anything. I went and looked at every bill they passed this year to find out which one talked about black people. None of them did. So he hit the NAACP. I think it was for $100 million lawsuit. He hit him for defaming the whole state. He said that is absolute lie. It was absolute bullshit. We're not going to put up with bullshit in our state. So they went after him because it didn't say that. What it did is it changed the law that you couldn't show sexual contented material to children in preschool or elementary school or even junior high. It had to be high school. That's all he did. It had nothing to do with the color. It had nothing to do with being gay. It had nothing to do with any of that. This is how sick liberals are, that they want elementary schools to see this stuff.
Yeah, what does a fifth grader need to know about how the human body reproduces? They don't.
They don't.
They don't. They need to learn, basic stuff, colors, shapes, math, English, grammar.
So that's all he did was change the law to where, and a lot of states already have this law, so I don't even know why he's catching trouble for it.
Yeah.
He also, remember, Florida has no state tax. And he wants to make, if you're over 65 years of age, whatever you buy, spend, or do anything, he wants you to be tax exempt. So he just grabbed a big power base of the country, because the old votes, the baby boomers still have a big vote in the United States.
Is Florida a retirement tax free as well?
Yeah, they want to make the whole state tax free.
No, is it already like Pennsylvania? If you're retired, your retirement money comes in tax free.
Some of it I do, but I think this is on everything. They want to make it so if you buy groceries, you buy your car, you buy your house, no taxes. Mm-hmm. No taxes at all. No state tax, no taxes at all.
No capital gains taxes, maybe.
And he's thinking about doing like Alaska does, and paying your federal tax for you if you're over 65.
Oh wow.
So, well, Alaska gives you money if you're Native Alaskan, and sometimes, depending on how it's set up, they'll pay yours. And wait, not just them. Southern Nevada will pay your income tax. There's no income tax in Southern Nevada, and they will help you with your federal income tax. I know, isn't real. You know, some people aren't greedy like other people are. New York isn't like that. New York got 8 million people and all kind of money, but they ain't helping nobody out but themselves. But you know, even this is a gambling town, and it's willing to help you out. Alaska's just got a lot of minerals, and they just want to help you out. It's kind of like, you know, living on an Indian reservation where they just want to help you out because you're here. Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I'm anti-reparations. You just need to know that already. I don't give a shit. First off, you know, you were freed 168 years ago. You ain't enslaved not one time. And I don't want to hear you were treated bad because I'm from New Orleans. As a white person, I've been discriminated against many times by blacks. So where's my reparations? I mean, we're talking about because of the way you were treated. This isn't 50 years ago. People in America, it doesn't matter what color you are anymore. And I tell this to people all the time. If you're fighting a race war, you have lost. Because there is no race war in this country. All I can tell you, if you're stupid enough, if you're stupid enough to fight a race war, you've lost. This is a class war. This is about what you have and what you don't have. They no longer care what color you are.
It's all they care is what you have and what you don't have. More like what you earn and what you don't earn. And you don't earn 6 figures, you're at the bottom.
Gene, I'm not saying there's not racist people in the country. There are, but the majority of Americans don't give a shit about color anymore. They look, to be honest with you, the majority of Americans don't care about color or what sex you are. They just don't. There's other things in life that is more important to them. And it doesn't matter what color you are because we're all going through life together. We're all going through a nation together. We're all dealing with one asshole president or another asshole president together. So
and you got to look at it like this also. That white people are the largest population in this country. There are more white criminals than there are black criminals. There are more white criminals in jails than there are black criminals in jails. There are more white racists in this country than there are black racists in this country.
Because it's a matter of numbers. 5 to 1.
Can't get around. I'm not saying that the white people suck, but when you have a population that there's one that's the number one and one that's the number two, one of them is going to have more of the other thing, more crime, more people in jail, more racist people, more assholes, more you name it. You just can't get around it. It's the numbers outweigh everything. Black people are not they're not what people have said 20, 30, 50, 100 years ago. They're not the problems of our country. They did not cause our problems.
I'm telling you now, I'm anti-reparation. So you might as well just, I know y'all keep sending me there, but it's not going to matter. I'm anti-reparation. I just don't see any reason to give one group special over other groups when other groups have been treated far worse. I guess I did say that out loud.
And the same thing applies to the student loan assistance going out. They're singling out people who have college loans, but they're not giving any relief to the people who already had college loans. Maybe they paid them off. Maybe they're still paying them off, but there's only a select group they're giving money to. That's singling people out. It's not fair.
So we get into this all the time. So first off, the first slave owner in the United States was a black man. He wasn't a white man. Don't take my word for it. It's on Wiki. Just look it up for yourself. See who was, and then we found out there were blacks that had white slaves in the United States. Oh yes, these are all facts. So you got to be careful about where you're going with this. And there wasn't millions of slaves brought over. I don't know who told you that. No. I'd have to go look it up, but I think it was less than 300,000 people. That doesn't make it right, mind you, but that's not millions of people.
But on the same token, a lot of people think that it was white people who took the black slaves from the West Indies and Africa. In most cases, they were traded or given away by their families and their tribes in hopes of coming here for a better life, maybe not realizing they were going to be turned into slaves.
Well, the biggest slave provider was a Zulu, and that was just conquered nations. They were just conquered. So, and actually, which cracks me up about this is the Zulu would kill their people. The only reason they kept them alive anymore is because the slavers would give them money for them. So this is what's so weird about this. If the slavers wouldn't have gotten involved, everyone the Zulu conquered would have been killed. They would have been murdered because that's how the Zulu did business. But because of the slavers, these people were kept alive and brought to the country. And now their ancestors live here. So it's a hateful thing that turned out to be a good thing. But too many people want to make it. Well, look, Jackie. So somewhere along the line, white people are going to drop below 50%. When that happens, that means they are eligible for affirmative action. Yes. It also means they can be the white TV network. They can be a white radio station. So this is where you want to go. Keep it where you are, because the black entertainment network technically is illegal in this country. The people Joe Biden hired, like Kamala Harris and Jean Lapierre,
NAACP,
well,
Black College Fund.
Yeah,
Those are all.
That's all illegal.
Exclusively target one race.
And then the fact that Joe Biden hired Kamala and Jean Lapierre based on color and sex, that's absolutely illegal in this country.
If he were a corporation into that, he'd be all kinds of trouble.
Then that would have been Donald Trump. He'd never heard the end of it. So you can't do that in the United States. So if you keep doing it, sooner or later there's going to be backlash. It's just a matter of time. And what about the Hispanics? I hear about blacks all the time, and blacks on TV, they need their share of this. Well, there's more Hispanics in the United States than blacks. How come they're not getting their share? Yeah, I don't see them on TV. I don't see them on the news media. I never even hear about them.
And there's one network for Hispanics in this country, Univision, and it shows varied entertainment platforms. Okay, albeit they do show white Hollywood movies, but they're dubbed over into Spanish. I don't think they do that on the Black Entertainment Network. I don't think they show white movies with all white cast. It's not quite the same.
So I'm looking at in the Black History thing. So it says, let's expel some myths and some truths. So a little more than 300,000 people blacks came to the United States. 4 to 6% of the people who actually were slaved came to the United States. The majority went to Africans went to Brazil and by the Caribbean. That's where the majority of them went. They didn't come to the United States. So we're hearing about this every day. See, that's what I'm saying. When you listen to a liberal, you listen to a lie every time. It's not what they want you to say. And again, if you're fighting a race war, you have already lost.
Look at it like this. You spell liberal with lie. L-I.
Yeah, and then one of the other things was that slavery lasted 400 years. Our country's not even 400 years old, you morons.
Yeah.
I can't say what it lasted outside the United States because that's not what we're talking about.
Maybe 100, 150?
I think they said it was 100. I had seen something recently that said 168 years.
Yeah, so about right.
So I don't know, James. I mean, it's not though. Well, it's like a friend of mine the other day. He's a black friend of mine. He starts going on, well, millions and millions and millions. I said, no, what are you fucking talking about? There ain't no millions of y'all were brought to the United States. I said, it was no way even close to a million. I said, because, we hear all the day, because what is there, 38 or 48 million blacks in the United States, and we want to give each one of them $1 million. Really? I'm not going for that. The Native Americans aren't going for that. The Hispanics aren't going for that. What the hell? Well, first off, Native Americans were also enslaved and treated far worse than blacks were ever treated. They're still being treated worse than blacks are being treated. They still live on reservations even today.
Yeah.
We killed them by the millions just with chicken pox alone.
We gave blankets to children with disease on them. What kind of a person does that?
Well, that's just it, James. It's not, just too much propaganda and not enough truth. So I was listening to Governor Newsom the other day. He wants to give, starting out, $400,000 to every black person. And if this, or this went on, you get $1 million. Well, first off, that's going to unlevel the playing fields in the United States. And then how many of these people are going to go off and become drug addicts or kill themselves? I'm not being racist. Let's see. Prince, Michael Jackson, and what's her name? All three of them OD'd. They were all multimillionaires, and guess what? They all OD'd or did. And her daughters did too.
think of it this way: you look at lottery winners. They're usually older than middle age, usually in their 60s or higher, usually in the Midwest. They win $10 million, and then 6 months later, they're destitute, broke, and poor because they don't manage the money correctly. They just piss it away.
I'm
It's
not,
been
I'm
shown
not
to
saying
happen.
there won't, I'm not saying there won't be some good things that would come out of it, but for the most part, it's not. And remember this: it's the same reason that we've spent $32 trillion. That's enough to give everybody in the United States several $1 million over. The reason this never happens is, okay, let's say you're going to give 30 million or 40 million people $1 million. Well, Coke just went up from from $2 to $5. And that's not going to just make us mad at Coke. It's going to make us mad at everybody that got that money, because that's the reason it went up. It's just, and again, if we're not talking about Native Americans first, I'm never going to talk about reparations. It's just not going to happen in my thing.
When I was a kid and the Big Mac first hit the McDonald's in my neighborhood, they were 45 cents. And then not long after that, they went to 65 cents. They're now 10 times that.
I know.
They're $6.50, $6.70, $6.93 per burger. You get a Big Mac, large fries, large Coke at McDonald's, you're spending upwards of $12 to $15, depending on where you are. In the 80s, I spent $4 on that same meal. Think about that.
So I know. It's insane.
Yeah.
So, Jack, 47 million black people or 47 million blacks live in America today. Yes, 47 million. That's a lot of people.
That's what, 1/10 of the country, roughly 400 million.
I think it's 14 or 15%.
Yeah.
That's or it was 14 or 15%. 47 million, and you want to give each one of them $1 million. First off, who's paying for that? I ain't paying for that.
It's going out of my money. That's going into the government. So where's my $1 million?
Yeah, I'm not paying for that. And then if you do that, what about the Irish and the Chinese that came here and dug the canals? They were also slaves.
Irish.
So what about their families? And that's probably another 40 million there. So that's $80 million. See, this it can't just stop with blacks, because then it becomes completely discriminatory. Because blacks weren't the only slaves in the United States. There were white people brought over as slaves. There were Irish people brought over as slaves. There was Chinese brought over as slaves. Yeah. And then we've got indentured servitude, which might as well have been slavery.
And the only other thing that's about that's I think accurate is that they're the only ones bitching about it. Bitching about reparations. I'm not bitching about it. But if they,
it's funny. A lot of black people are not bitching about reparations. They don't want to have nothing to do with it because they know what kind of problems it's going to cause.
Yeah. Well, it's on. Yeah. Like we said, think about how many people would either piss it away or wind up, getting themselves killed because of a, worldwide drug spree.
I know, huh? Janine, so if I was to ask you where were the largest black populations in our country, wouldn't you think it would be where? So you would think it'd be up north, right? Because Southerners are just evil bastards, and black and Southerners can't live together, right?
I'd say it's Atlanta, Savannah.
So the largest,
Louisiana.
So Texas has the first largest population with 4 million. 4 million black people live in Texas, which has 38 or 30 million people in Texas. Next is Florida at 3.8 million, and there's 26 million people in Florida. Georgia, 3.6 million, and there ain't that many people in Georgia. There's only about 8 million people in Georgia, or 10 million people, so that's a big chunk of the population.
Yeah, and then the big chunk of the population is in Atlanta. Most of the rest is in the outlying areas.
You mean the most populous area for a city? New York has the largest population of blacks any city in the country at 3.8 million.
Well, that's just the city.
So that's about almost half of the city's population. Well, see, that doesn't work like that. So
close to 1/3.
So like in New Orleans, more than half the city in New Orleans is black. I think it's 58% is black. And Atlanta has a large population of blacks. A lot of this, Baltimore has a large population. So does DC.
Yeah.
Well, it makes things different because those cities, because you don't understand. So let's say you live in DC, okay, and you're 40% black. Well, you have to learn to get along with each other because with that big of a population, you're going to always be bumping into each other. So, and now, like in Louisiana and New Orleans, blacks don't live like they did 30 years ago. They live in nice homes, nice housing, driving nice cars, nice jobs, nice clothes. It's not like it was. It's different. So a lot of that anger is gone because there's no reason to have that anger there. Well, Native Americans, I'd have to go look. I don't think the Native Americans have as many as. I'd have to go look. I honestly don't know. I haven't looked up the population of Native Americans in a long time. What do you mean, Don? What do you mean? No, if you fight in a race war, you've lost. You're done. You're over with. The race war has been over for at least a decade. This is a class war. Of course, CNN and NBC want you to think it's a race war because that way they keep control and can keep pushing your buttons. But in the end, it's not about what color you are. It's about how much money you have. Well, so it doesn't matter what color you are. You can live in great neighborhoods all over the United States today. And nobody really gives a shit what color you are. But they do care about how much money you've got. Yeah, they're not going to discriminate against you because you're black or Hispanic or white. They're going to discriminate against you because you're freaking poor.
Yeah, if you have a neighborhood that's mostly the people own their houses, and then someone moves out but keeps their house and decides to rent it out, those people that come in and rent that are looked down upon as squatters because they are perceived as being poor because they can't buy their own house or they don't own their own cars. They lease everything. It's the wrong perception. So what if someone decides to rent out a house? It's the quality of people that go in there. You judge those people that move into that house by their actions, not by how much money they bring in.
That's true too. What do you mean, Gene? This says black alone, 45 million, 13.6 population. Black alone with another race, 49, to say 50 million at 14.9%. Well, what do you mean? Well, first off, not all of them would get reparations. Only descendants of slaves can get reparations. Well, a lot of black people in the country came here after slavery, so they don't qualify. Probably a third or more of the black population was here after slavery. Not born here, that came here. They're still every day. You ever been in D.C.? Go to D.C. and you'll meet a lot of black people and none of them freaking speak English. None of them.
Nope.
You walk in a convenience store, they're all speaking. No. You don't take my word for it. I've been there several times. Go look for yourself.
I grew up in D.C. I can tell you he's right.
It's
I'll tell you one good cool thing about actual Africans having immigrated to DC. If you're a music fan, back in the 80s when me and my buddies were bar hopping in DC, Georgetown, and further other places in the district, there were pickle drum bands out in front of almost every bar, and these guys were raking in cash because they were good. They didn't sing; they just beat out a bunch of rhythms on various pickle barrels filled with water to make them tuned to a certain sound, and it was quite awesome. It's like African rhythms. It was really neat.
Kirby, what did you send me? What did you send me? I don't see it. Where did you send it? You mean Blacks by Cities? Okay. No, you'd have to go see them. So you can't really go with the maps because as far as in cities, it's going to be like Los Angeles and probably Philadelphia and New York. These are big cities, so they'll have a larger black population, but it won't be like it is in New Orleans and a lot of the southern cities where it's 60% black and 40% white or 35% white. You're not going to see that. Even in New York, you're not going to see that. It's not going to be that high. Even with 4 million out of 9 million, it's still only 35%. In LA, 1.3 million out of how many they got in LA? 5 million or something. That's just Detroit's the same way. Yeah. But the majority of blacks live in the South. So even when you take these cities right here, which is New York, Los Angeles, Detroit, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, you've got.
What about Chicago?
For some reason, it's not in this list. Cincinnati's in it, though. I'm surprised Chicago's not. But you've got, let me see, 2 million, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 million out of what have we said, 49 million. So you got about 30 million, 35 million of blacks live in the Deep South. Not in the South, in the Deep South. It's different. The Deep South is lower part of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. That's considered the Deep South. Yes, that's considered the Deep South. Anything else of that is like Heartland or Mid-South. It's not the Deep South. Mm-hmm. And the Deep South is where slavery was. But somehow or another, everybody down here has figured out how to get along. I don't know why you damn Yankees can't figure it out. Everybody tells me the same thing. If you're black up north, it's way more racist up there than it is down here. And that's the same. When you do events for racism, you'll find that the majority of hate crimes against blacks happen in the north or in California. That's what's another crazy. Cities in America with the largest black populations for 2023. Number one city is Jackson, Mississippi, with 82% being black. That's the capital of Mississippi, people.
That's the Deep South.
Which would have been the most racist state in the Union, no longer can say that. Detroit, Michigan is second with 77%.
Isn't Mississippi where that governor was shot way back when in the 60s?
It might have been. Birmingham, Alabama is next at 68%, and Miami Gardens, Florida is 64%. So in all of those cities, blacks are dominating, so everybody else has to get along. So go down there and see how they treat everybody. See if they're treating people the way they want to be treated. Because remember, so we did a poll of 100 black businesses about 8 months ago. And out of that 100 black businesses, we found 8 that hired employees other than black. And out of that 8 that hired employees, 5 hired Hispanics, 3 hired like Pakistanians or Middle Easterners. None of them hired white people. None. Tell me that's not discrimination, people. And these are decent-sized businesses. Oh, yeah, but that's discrimination any way you look at that. Oh, yeah, if that was white businesses doing that, it'd be, they're discriminating.
They'd be in all kinds of fines and troubles.
So when you live in cities where the population is overwhelmingly one color, then everybody is a minority besides them. That's the way it should be treated, but that's not the way they treat it. They allow for them to get away with far more stuff than anybody else can. Well, it's not just whites. They get over on Hispanics. Yeah, they do. Hispanics, besides the Native American, are probably the worst treated in the country right now.
Yeah, they're definitely looked down upon, especially the day workers.
Now see,
and Home Depots.
This map shows New York, Atlanta, Chicago, and Washington. And between them, there are 5, 6, 7, 8 million people. And so metro population in New York is 20 million. Well, that's a lie. 3 million of them are African. Atlanta is 6 million. 2 million of them are African. Chicago is 9 million. 1.5 million is African. Washington. See, these aren't like what we were just showing you, like the other cities we were showing you in the South where it was way higher percentages. And the reason I bring that up is to show you Jackson is the middle of Mississippi. I mean, this used to be the most racist place in the world. And you know what? It's not anymore. And if you're in the Deep South along the Gulf Coast, you're not going to see any racism, any gay hate, any of that. Because we're very laid back and we really don't give a shit. And you know what? If you ask us what bathroom you want to go in, we don't care. As long as you're not perverting in front of our kids, we don't care. It's just one of those things. What do you mean? I have black hosts on the networks. I have black subcontractors. I have black friends. You're not going to get me in that bullshit. No, indeed not. Because I don't care what color you are. I'll tell you like I tell everybody. I judge everybody the same way. You're either an asshole or you're not. You're either the I-95 song or you're not. Because I was raised in a family that never cared about color, ever. They never cared about sex or color. It just was the way they were. Maybe they were ahead of their time. They weren't woke, I can tell you that. But I will tell you this. If you're visiting Georgia or Mississippi or Alabama, and you're up in the top part of the state in the rural part, not and you're up there in this, be careful because they don't care about what color you are. They care that you don't belong there. So
Yeah.
Mississippi and Alabama, Georgia's funny about that. You're in this town, you're hanging out, you're doing some stuff, and they're looking at you like, shit, like, where are you from, boy? And he don't care that you're black or white or Hispanic. He want to know why you're in his town. Because you don't belong in his town. Now, there are towns now, we call them tourist towns. So there's like tourist routes you can take in each state to go hang out, like spend a day or two traveling through your state, going to these old cities and shopping. So there's those, and they're friendly to you, but all the rest of them towns are not. Don't think they are. Put this in perspective. I was invited to a couple of Black Lives rallies in Mississippi. The first one was in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's about an hour from here. I show up. There's 300-400 people there, right? White people, old redneck looking people that if I was black, I wouldn't even want to be around because I think I'd be getting put on a cross. So a couple months after that, I'm invited to another one in Jackson, Mississippi. I show up there. There's 600-700 white people. Not a black person to be seen at either one of these rallies. So I called a friend of mine who invites me. He's a BLMer. And he said, oh, I don't know, Joe. I just didn't feel safe. But then he calls me to go to one in New Orleans. I'm the only white person there. Matter of fact, I was sitting on the car and taking pictures and videos, and his two brothers came up and started giving me some shit. And Daryl come out of nowhere. He said, he's here for press. He's my friend. We invited him. He's here to show that we're not what these people are saying we are. And you come right up and start acting like the people they say we are. He said, what is wrong with you? And then the guys are all like, I didn't know. We apologize. We just thought he was spying on us, blah, blah, blah. We'll make sure he's taken care of. And they did, too. They made sure everywhere. They took me all over that night to get great videos and fed me and all kind of good stuff. He said, he said, I'd put you in blackface, but somebody get a picture of it and make fun of you. It's like, I don't think so, dude.
The last thing you need is a picture of you looking like Al Jolson.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, I don't think that's what is going to happen. But Daryl's big with them, and he from time to time he calls me in because he wants the press, and and I'll make videos for him, and they can go use them. But he wants to show you that. Because, in the South, there was none of that shit that went on up north or out east. There was no burning of buildings or pillaging of places.
No
none
watch
of that went
riots.
on. There's none of that because, one, everybody down here owns a gun. So you just start going through neighborhoods tearing up shit. People would have been out there shooting you in the ass with rock salt.
Or you throw a rock into the wrong business window and boom.
Oh, yeah. Or you throw a Molotov cocktail, it might come flying back at you.
Yeah.
So it's a little different down here. Liberal cities are way more, how can I say this politely, stupid. And they're just, letting somebody march through your town, burning. And I never understood this about BLM. And I asked this to a couple of them. I said, why were you burning down black businesses? That made no sense to me. I mean, you were harming your own. These people didn't have insurance. He said, well, there was some mistake. Somebody thought some of them were Hispanic businesses. I said, still. These are people in your neighborhoods hiring you, giving you jobs. Why are you burning the place down? I was like, he said, they just got carried away, Jerry. He said, with stupidity. He said,
mob mentality. They all went berserk.
It's like when the mob took over Wall Street for a couple of weeks, and a couple people got raped there, and other stuff went on. Or like when Seattle, they took over 14 blocks of Seattle for 2 months. I was like, really? So a friend of mine said, well, what you would have done? I said, I'd have put Martha on one side and Jenny on the other side, and I would have went for a walk. And then so first one approached me and said, I said, you know what, you better get on the ground or you may be meeting your maker. There would have been no way. I'd have walked around here like I owned a fucking place. And if somebody had been stupid enough to take a pot and kill their asses, because you know what? A dead witnesses can't testify. First thing a state trooper told me one time, I remember I was like 17 at the time. I was 18 because I legally had a gun. He said, Joe, somebody ever breaks in, you be sure you shoot him and pull him into your house. Or make sure you got blood on you or they tried to hurt you before you shoot him. He said, you're not, no problem at all. He said, because dead people can't testify. And I was like, well.
I've always told people, if you're in a crisis conflict, make sure only one story gets told.
Yours. Carolyn, would I shoot somebody? I'll be honest with you. If somebody was a mess with my family or put my life into where I feared for jeopardy, yeah, I'd kill somebody. I don't think I'd burn in hell for defending my own. Yeah. Well, you think I should just let him kill me and then I go straight to heaven and he goes to hell? I don't know if I like that idea. And it's not so much about me as it would be about my kids and my family. I might shoot somebody. I don't want to have a real problem with it. I was trained to kill people when I was in service anyway, so I wouldn't do it. I mean, you'd have to really do something to me to make me kill your ass, but no, but I would. You mean the Seattle thing? Oh yeah, I don't went walking in there, no problem at all. I just said, "Excuse me, I'm going my way home. Don't mess with me, little boys. You're not gonna like what comes next." I wouldn't have needed the guns. I'm Special Forces trained. I would have whooped their asses just for shits and giggles. I'd have probably brought some chucks with me or a stick with me or something and just went for a little walk. I would have had no problem with that. No, I'd had no problem whooping their asses. And if it looked like they were a gang on me, then Martha would have came out. Pow! Next when it gets close, guess what? There's 31 rounds in here, so 31 of you bitches are not going to make it home. And you know what? I got 2 more clips here, so that's 93. You bitches are not going to make it home.
Yeah, I got 31 bullets, but I only.
Well, I carry 3 clips in my car, so. I carry a 31, a 51, and I think it's a 19 or a 21. So, yes, I'm going to get, and they're all loaded. And some of them have exploding hollow points in, some have poison hollow tips, and you don't even fuck with this gun. It's going to kill you. And I can't shoot the 110s out of it because it makes my gun jam up. So I got to shoot the high velocity bullets. I mean, the high velocity rounds, which means I'll shoot you through your damn corridor. Yeah, so don't, some people are not worth screwing with. That's why this shit don't go on in the Deep South, because we're not going to put up with it. It's like we've been having a carjacking problem in New Orleans. So you know what's happened the last 4 or 5 carjackings? The owner of the car caught the people trying to carjack him and brought them to jail. Some little old lady, just a little lady like 5 foot nothing, jumps out. I love it. She's got a pink 380 and pops 3 of them in the ass while they're running. Pop, good shot too, man. She just she got on video. Pop, pop, pop. You see all 3 of them hit the ground. Here comes the cops with her little pink 380. It's so cute. The best one was, I'm in a pizza place. I got my gun on me. It's the only one that's open. You could see it. I was open carrying. And I'm waiting on my pizza. This guy come here to rob the store with a machete. So I'm thinking, I'm going to stop this. No way. The 2 young women in front of me, one was like 28, one was probably 32, good looking, both pull out pistols and said, "You're going to get on the ground and wait for the policeman. That's what you're going to do, boy." and there's like 30 people and everybody's, yeah. But that's the problem in the South. You never know how many people got guns on them because it's concealed carry. And a lot of states down here, it's concealed carry without a permit. Yes, I carry mine concealed sometimes. Not most of the time I don't, though.
That's a very similar example I use for like the old West. People used to think the Old West was a lawless time. Everyone was getting shot. Murders per capita back then are way less than they are nowadays. Of course, the population was smaller then too. But bank robbers didn't rob banks if they went in there and there's 5 people in line and 3 of them have guns. Even if there's 6 or 7, you don't know how good of a shot those people are.
You don't know who the hell they are.
The money. You don't want to get shot, and you don't want to shoot somebody. You don't want to make any noise to alert the sheriff down the road to come over and get you. That's why they went after stagecoaches and trains so much. They were easier targets. They were moving targets.
And trains were easy to stop back then.
Yeah, you just put a couple of logs in the track, and it has to stop.
Yeah, today, no, Johnny Westy boy. Today trains are not as easy to stop. First off, them freaking locomotives weigh a shitload. Give the squash money.
They go way faster.
I remember a friend of mine said, "Gee, just put a stack of quarters and knock them off." I'm like, really? Let's go stack some quarters. I said, watch what happens to them.
You got a bunch of flattened quarters.
Yeah, I got a bunch of flattened quarters. And I mean, flattened out. You weren't using them for anything else. No, Dean, the bank actually took them back because they were whole. I think because they were silver, actually. We were too stupid. We were kids. We didn't know. We just thought we were out flattening quarters and nickels.
The bank will take back any damaged money, paper, coin, anything.
Mm. Yeah, on paper, it's got to be a little bit more than half and have one of the serial numbers on one side, and they'll take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now, in banks, it's like during Katrina, 2 of the banks come and hired some of my people because I had come back in town with like 60 people. So they were paying me $75 an hour to rent my people. they were cleaning out the bank. Well, the money was melted. So what they were trying to do was just get the ring off the money so they knew how much was in each pack. And not all the money was melted, but a lot of it was. Oh, a couple of guys told me they were just telling them to take it. Yeah, the money that wasn't, they were just telling them to take it. Well, because they couldn't use it for anything. They probably had mold on it and shit. And, if they had it, then they'd had to have it cleaned professionally, and the insurance company wouldn't have claimed it, so they just were like, take it. But most of it was just piles of mush with a wrapper on it. Mm-hmm. Now the banks actually use a different kind of wrapper that's waterproof, so they don't have any. Oh no, these banks got most of their money back because they had records on how much was supposed to be in there. But so much of that stuff was still hard paper back there and not digital like it is today that they lost a lot of stuff. And then a lot of places lost their digital because, yes, it was backed up, but it was backed up at the same place that the computer was at. So in other words, so two of the companies I worked for, when we used to still use floppies, would have me back up our stuff and take those floppies to my house in case something happened, a fire. Because it's no good having a backup if it's in the same place and there's a fire, flood, or whatever, because the backup's now gone. Oh, I can't tell you how many companies I saved their ass after Katrina. So there were 200 companies in our building. 100 and something of them were flooded out 4 feet deep. All their computers were underwater because everybody puts their computers on the ground. So I went in to assess the damage and write my bid up, and I seen all these computers, and I called a different owner and said, because we were getting ready to trash the building. I said, come get whatever you want out before we start trashing, because people had artwork and signed baseballs and nasty pictures of their wife and stuff in their drawers and stuff, which we got a lot of that stuff, by the way. We got a lot of really nice booze, too, and that people had stashed. But I told them, I said, look, if your computer wasn't on, I might be able to save it. And they all got lucky because the power went out before the flood. So all the computers were off. So I saved all but about 8 of them. And I think it was 315 that I retrieved. Only about 20 of them we couldn't get to come back on. So these people were so happy. And all I was doing was retrieving the data and giving them the data. We were keeping the computers and selling them or giving them to schools and shit. And they were just stunned. He said, I can't believe you got them to come on. Because one was a company, they do mortgages and title company. And they just couldn't afford to lose all this shit. He said, because they went and retrieved the floppies, but I guess whatever was in the water ruined them. And so I said, well, look, let me see what I can do. When I called the owner that night, he said, how much money do you want? He said, you just saved my life, my business, my family. Just tell me what I can do for you. So I said, I own a radio station, go make a donation. So he made a $25,000 donation.
Wow.
And he said, keep whatever you want. He said, we are friends for life. I still see him every once in a while. He's like, and a lot of them were like that. A lot of them, their business was on their computer, and I went and saved their ass. They were stunned. We're good karma for me, but we got to go, guys and girls. It's 1 in the morning where Jay lives, and
109, yeah.
And I keep hearing the little rental girl at the door knocking, so he got some company coming over.
Yeah, she's early.
Wait. All right, Dean, don't worry about it. If you don't know what a rental girl is, we're not even going there tonight. Okay, we're just not going to go there. No, we're not. Everybody, be sure you check out Echo Chernik. She's a fabulous lady, and she's got fabulous art. So be sure to go check her out. I do consider her a friend, Mark. I really do. The first year I met her, she messed up her foot, and Tom and I had her on each shoulder walking in. We were looking for booze, is what we were doing. And everything in LA closes at midnight, people, so it's a bitch. And so we had a lot of fun. And every year it's a little bit different, but everybody has a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work. Even for me, who are there as press, it's still a lot of work. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a vacation, but it's a working vacation. I don't really get much time to vacate. Most of the time, I'm either talking, working, or videoing, or audioing. Well, I got some good things I got to write. I got to figure out how I'm going to write it out. I was privy to some really private conversations, which I have permission to put part of the conversation out. So one of the judges knew the drummer of Rush really well. In case y'all know, the drummer of Rush was the lead singer, and well, he got bad cancer. And anyway, long story short, there was a lot of this conversation with him. So there's a lot of it I'm not going to be able to publish, but there's a lot of it I am. And just hearing them talk about the progression between the two of them was fabulous. So I asked him if it was all right. But there's lots of these conversations with these, like I was talking with, I can't think of his name. He's the one who wrote Pirates of the Caribbean. And so he's an interesting, Tim Powers, he's an interesting character to talk to, and Jody Lanai and all of them. And they worked with other people. It's just a lot of fun. But anyway, we got to get out of here. Y'all go be nice to your mama or your daddy. It's Daddy's Day coming up pretty soon. So be nice to your
18th.
daddy. Send me steak. I love that commercial where the girls go, well, you never know what you get for day. And the guy's going, steak. You can't go wrong with steak. Send Daddy steak. Daddy be happy if you send him steak. Anyway, on that note, we got to go, guys. Girls, be sure to get out and vote at the Podcast Awards. You'll get to see more and more of that. I'll make sure all the audio is on this computer next week so y'all can hear all the different promos. And be sure to check them all out. It's a lot of fun. But vote. Go vote for this show. So remember, if this show wins, technically 5 people are going to win because we have rotating hosts on here. You mean, which Emily you're talking? Oh, you're talking about Min's house. I have not talked to her today. She wrote to me earlier and said, are you having a show tonight? And I said, yeah, you're coming by. And I didn't see her anymore. No, her show aired tonight, I'm pretty sure. It aired tonight. I seen it earlier.
It would have come before the Church of Mavis. I wasn't watching. I was at work, so I didn't see her show tonight.
No, Emily's a fun host. She's a lot of fun. She's crazy, but she's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's wacky, but she's cool.
Yes. No, we enjoy talking with her. And Trish comes and hangs out with us from time to time. Trish Moe, she does Missing Pieces. She may be hanging out with us a little more in the near future, too.
Missing Pieces and Peace of Mind, isn't it? The other one?
The Missing Piece is what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace of Mind might be her web Facebook thing.
It might be. I don't know. I get so confused because Michelle keeps adding shows. Be sure to go check out the whole line of show. The new website will be up between the 10th and the 12th. I'm just waiting on GoDaddy to migrate the domain to Homestead. And then the new site will be up, and then y'all can start adding and bitching and moaning about what you want to add to the site. It's a different site. Yeah, it's a different design. The whole site's different. And there's room to add other stuff to it, so. Well, that was one of the problems with the old site. It was kind of full. You can just kind of keep scrolling down, which is how the program page is going to be, but all the rest of the pages are different. So again, on that note, stay tuned for Spaced Out Radio, or tune in for Spaced Out Radio because Scott, yes, because he's on. He's actually on right now. He starts at 11. Yeah, so. Well, I own a freaking network. That's why. How you like that? Anyway, good night, you goofballs.
Good night.
Oh, man.